Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Twitch. Good evening to those on YouTube watching after the fact. Good evening to those on the podcast, or I should say, hello to those listening on the podcast. This is episode 54 of Malt and Magic. I am in a total mess tonight, but we're going to get there. We're going to sort my life out, and we'll get on with some D&D. Let's do our usual thank yous out to Albo Radio, to Incarnate, D&D Beyond, Hero Forge, Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop, Tabletop Audio, all of those tools, websites, whatever you want to call them, solutions, helping us to make this game all the more better, all the more immersive. And of course, it would not be Malt and Magic without the ever awesome Battle Bards who provide all of our sound effects and some of the musical ambience for us as well. If you want to use those same sound effects in your own game, go and use the code Malt and Magic. I say it every week. Get yourself a nice cheeky discount off some sound effects and some musical tracks when you register. Yeah, so what else have we got to talk about? Go follow us on social media. We are getting on the real wagon, I should say. That almost sounds like a pun, but it's not. So yeah, we're trying to be more proactive with social media, I think is the term I'm going to use. So be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all of those things on Instagram, on Twitter. Maybe at some point, if we get enough followers, we'll set up our own Discord channel, but we'll think about that in the future. I've talked about the podcast. Please go check out the podcast on your podcast platform of choice if you want to go back and revisit your favourite moments from an episode, or just listen to the campaign back so far. I know there's a lot of episodes to get through and there's a lot of hours to put in. Sometimes watching that on video can be a bit tiresome, but listening to it can give you that nice little break. So yeah, go check out the podcast, and if you can leave a review on that, we would be ever grateful. Always helps to get the word out and get the show out to people who may not have heard of it or are new to D&D, those sorts of things. So yeah, please go check out Tales of Teal'nar as well. If you're not getting enough D&D in your life, then go check out Tales of Teal'nar, run by our very own Samau, DM'd by our very own Samau, I should say. That is on YouTube, and you can go check that out. Great series. I'll be totally honest, I'm still one episode behind, but we're getting there slowly. And I've just posted it in the chat, actually, but we are still running our NPC contest. So if you would like to get an opportunity to potentially create an NPC alongside me to feature in our game, then you must follow us on Twitch. When we hit 50 followers, we will select one lucky person from that group of 50 followers, and that person will get to design an NPC with us, and hopefully then get their own bit of personality in the game. And you know what? I may even just throw one of the t-shirts in for a bit of fun as well. So why not do that? And I think that's it. So that's the intros, that's the thank yous. I suppose my usual warnings apply. Adult language. There will also be a lot of adult humour. You've seen it before, you've heard us before. Let's roll.
Still gets me pumped.
Hello.
Hello.
It is still awesome. I suppose we should still thank Achilles for that track, actually.
Yeah.
Because that track doesn't get old. It's amazing. And our very own Mr. Wizard for putting the track to the awesome scenes there and creating that bit of a video intro for us. So, well done, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you, Achilles, for the track.
That was amazing.
I suppose the other thing I need to say is congratulations to all the t-shirt winners from a couple of weeks ago on the anniversary episode. All those t-shirts should now be with you, so thank you very much for joining us there. The only t-shirt that seems to have got lost is Simau's, so we'll sort that out. And I am also informed that the Dice Box is on its way to the very lucky winner of that as well, so that should be with you soon, hopefully. And yeah, enjoy that. We're all very, very jealous. But yeah, should we do the lineup as per usual? I'm Matt, I'm the Dungeon Master. I also play Bothrid and NPCs and monsters.
I'm Danny, I play Underhorn Raven, the human rogue bard. Show us your top, Matt. in all its glory.
You want to see the whole thing? That means I got to stand up.
Oh, I do like the inverted logo, you know.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
does work well.
Very, very
Right,
cool.
put it this way now.
There you go.
Hello, I'm Smo, and I play Kirik, Great Tusk, the half-orc cleric fighter, who has no idea what's gonna happen tonight, but it's gonna be exciting, I assume.
Let's see, indeed.
I'm Dave. I play Dargon, the Goliath fighter warlock, and I'm also interested to see how we get on tonight and where we end up.
And where we end up, indeed, I suppose, is the question. As last week, we decided to traverse the northern mountain range, if you like, or try and get towards the northern mountain range, which is the Shivering Spire Mountains, or the Shivering Spine Mountains. And you're currently making your way north from the Maltmaster's Keep in the unnamed mountain range, or it's not named on the map, at least. Chose to avoid heading towards Moonbright and then going north from there. Just thought, you know what, let's just go tackle these mountains and see what the hell befalls us. And yeah, had a little bit of uneventful travel along a goat path, or a very thin track. Eventually came to almost a plateau of fallen rocks and rubble, and found 3 cyclopses, whatever the plural of a cyclops is. Cyclopsi.
Cyclopsi.
It's got to be, because he's got an eye.
I get it.
And I think it was 4, actually.
Yeah, it
one
was.
of which was almost instantly banished by
He was a
Mr.
very
Great
naughty
Tusk.
boy.
He was a very naughty boy. So you dealt with the other 3, and just blinding them as he went along. And then the 4th one bumped back into existence as you were all just waiting there to strike. And yeah, pounced 4 dead Cyclops. And decided then, rather than move further away, thinking that the threat of the Cyclops being there would dissuade any potential ambushers or attackers, you decided to set up camp and have a long rest. And that is where we begin our session tonight. Having dealt with the morning after Moonbright, having dealt with the escape, the flight from the Maltmaster's Keep, putting people in charge, we are now just about ready to camp for the evening after a very long couple of days. So, who is taking first watch?
I will take it.
Correct answer.
There we go. Dargon is going to take it. Okay. In fact, let's just get a bit of a watch order, shall we?
I'll take second.
Make some notes. Okay.
I'll go third.
So, watch order
You see,
is going to be...
Because part of me wants to. I've got 10 unidentified spell scrolls and 8 unidentified vials or potions. But I'm also exhausted,
Use them all.
so I'm disadvantaged on my ability checks to find out what they are. So I will wait till the morning, I think.
Okay, well, my question now was, does anybody want to do anything before they rest quickly?
Yeah.
I'll just read my book to relax, I think.
Okay. I will say then you spend an hour reading your book, and you can tick off another hour on that book.
Woo!
Dargon,
it's your watch anyway, so we will probably come to you while you're on your way, unless there is something specifically you want to do with the group.
yeah, while they're awake and stuff. Do we want to light a fire to start with, or not?
It's a
think
bit
you'd already
cold, I
done
won't
that
mind.
last week. You'd
we'd
already
already
done that last
done
week, so...
Cool. There we go. That's that one then. Yeah, let's get my head in gear. I'll turn to Kirik actually, and like, hey, you alright after that fight?
Yes, I mean, I was lucky enough not to be hit, so I'm doing okay.
Yeah, good.
I mean, your patience levels were pretty thin. I mean, I know Dargon's diplomatic approach was not working very well, but you.
Excuse me, thank you very much. I think it worked very well. As well as it could have. I would task you to do a better job. After all, you couldn't speak their language, could you?
If I could speak one eye, I'd have got us out of that mess.
Yeah, but you didn't. So I did the best job, and that's all we could have done. And I guarantee you couldn't have done any better.
Yeah. I just, I'm a bit shook after what happened to Moonbright and after Vraco, and I just want to make sure that we get to the mountains and we get a part of the prophecy as soon as possible, at least so we can maybe understand a portion of what's going on, and anything that really gets in our way, yes, we can obviously talk about it, and we're not going to go willy-nilly and try to just cannonball our way through, but I think a little bit of expedience is required, at least.
Yeah, I think that's right. After everything that's happened, and definitely could tell something was up with you shooting off the green flower like that. So I just wanted to check you were all right. We definitely saw a change in that fight and all your lack of hesitancy. So I'm glad to hear you were all right. I know it's not been easy, and I know it was a bit of a shock to all of us about Vraco. I just don't want to turn into horrible mercenaries going through Nylon. We've got to stick up for our values, haven't we?
Of course.
Not that I thought you would be doing anything else. I'm just double checking.
No, it's good. It's good to keep each other in check.
Yeah. Oh wait, what's so valuable about that sword that we didn't want to give it away?
Oh, I don't know. Apart from the fact that it's laden in jewellery, I can't discern anything else about it. Can you? And I'll get it and I'll give it to Kirik. Now, don't give this one to the Stillman. Whatever you do.
Yeah, I will try not to. Dagon, can you see any magic on it? I assume it's got magic on, but...
I'll close my eyes momentarily. Open them up again.
Okay.
A glow comes out of my eyes, and just a light glow, sort of my eyes are sort of a dim sunlight sort of thing. That kind of thing.
There is this sort of radiant golden glow that appears over Dargon's eyes as he now stares at this long sword. You notice the ever-present with magical items, that teasing flow of fey-like hues, verdant green-like hues that ebb and flow through it. You also then notice these thin veins of white.
It's as you say, it is magical. You are absolutely right. Something else to it. It could be protective, maybe, or it may do more harm, obviously, than a sword would otherwise do. But maybe do a little more harm.
Make me an investigation check with advantage as well, please.
Ooh. Or me, or Kirik.
That was you. You're the one investigating the sword currently.
That'll be a 19. Is it? Yes, it is.
Nice.
As you now peer closer, you also notice that there are these small flecks or flashes of sorts of this black viscous, oily type aura that appear every now and again over the sword.
Actual or in the magic that I'm seeing?
In the magical auras. So basically you've got the strong green aura.
Yep.
These veins of sort of glowing white, they're almost like cloudy veins, basically.
Yeah.
But then these spots that appear almost like ink droplets, if you imagine, look exactly like that when ink lands on a page and bounces up, of this black, viscous, oily aura.
Oh, hang on a minute, guys. I think it might be a bit of a necrotic sword. It's got that sort of feel and look to it. Yes. So, harmful or protective, but pretty sure it'll do some necrotic damage.
Well, until we can identify it with an actual kind of description, I think becoming attached to swords that we don't exactly know what they do is usually a bad idea.
I mean, none of us have gone on a killing spree yet, so I don't think it's. I think it's that bad. But did you want me to keep hold of it, or did you want to keep hold of it? I know Dargon's got enough weapons, and so has Bothrid.
I'll trust you to keep hold of it, and I'll pass him the sword.
Okay.
Okay. You pass him the sword. Good stuff. Anything else?
Not from me.
Bothrid
no.
at this point is literally just fallen next to the fire and...
I think I might follow Bothrid's lead.
Who's going after me? Who am I waking up?
That'll be me.
Alright, Kerry. Okay, good night's rest. It's been a long 48 hours.
Wake me up after your watch, Kirik.
I will do.
Go to sleep.
Yep, same.
Okay. So you all fall asleep. Dargon, is there anything particular you'll be doing on your watch tonight? As the others sleep and you listen in a realm which is very much familiar to you now.
Yeah.
It's probably the first time in a long time you have been camped out on a mountainside. And it almost feels like home. If it wasn't for the 4 slowly decaying Cyclops bodies around you, it would be very, very similar.
Is there a if we're on the side, sort of the side of a mountain, can I go sort of to sort of the edge of it so that the campsite is behind me?
So I will say you can step out sort of the edge of this plateau where you can then see sort of there's the plateau, and if we imagine we were heading forward, to your left the mountain continued up for a bit, but to the right it carries down almost as if you're walking on the right hand side of the mountain, or the eastern side of the mountains as you head north.
Yeah, I mean, if I get about 60 feet away from them all, just so that I can still see with my dark vision a decent, I can still see them well within range, and just get away from all of that, and so that I can also see around.
Yep.
And I'll put my hand on Timiel's Wrath and I will start to pull it out, but I will also see whether mentally I can will her to not give off the massive amount of light she usually does at that time.
So I'll say as you place your hand on the hilt and go to draw her, and that glow begins to shine, the thought of you, or that thought that you're trying to send to her, you instantly get this response of, if you do not wish the light, simply place me in the sheath, in the scabbard. You only have but to touch my hilt, and we can talk.
Very good. So I will keep it in the hilt, in the sheath. Sorry. And I will pray to Pelor / Timiel.
Okay. And what would you like to say on this prayer, or in this prayer?
Hey, Lois. Been quite a few days. I've hoped that I have fought well in your name against these horrible, evil creatures from the depths of hell. It seems we're losing more battles than we're winning, and I hope that we're on the right path to finding the answers to defeat these foes. I don't know whether we've seen our foe yet. I thought we'd managed to defeat one of our greatest foes, only to find he was, as we worried, was a pawn. I hope we're heading in the right direction, and I hope you can guide with your gracious light the path forwards for us.
Okay. I'm going to say, as your hand is on the hilt and you're sort of using Timiel's wrath to really channel this prayer, I'm going to ask you to make me a really random roll now. I want you to make me a strength religion check, please.
Cool. So...
So if you're proficient in religion, you can add your proficiency bonus on top of this, but if not, just add your strength modifier to your d20, please.
Okay. I shall do that. That's a natural 1 for a 6.
That's a natural 1.
I
Somehow,
just took it,
despite... fine. Despite holding onto the hilts, you just don't quite feel connected. Maybe it's the death of Vraco, the burial, maybe it's the events of Moonbright, but it just doesn't connect. It's not your most earnest prayer.
Feeling pretty tired as well.
Absolutely.
I will continue to look out over the mountain, over the side, up at the sky, whether it be clouds or stars, and I'll actually pace at a distance away from the group until it's my time to wake Kirik up.
Okay. And as the sun sets and a sort of summer moon rises, there are some stars around, some hidden by the shadow of the mountains, but it does not take long for the cold to set in at this altitude. And as you have travelled further north, it does get ever colder still.
I'll also...
It doesn't affect you, Dargon, too
I'll get
much.
it.
You sort of just... Carry on.
I'll get it Azazel, I'll bamf Azazel in and just say, fly around. That sort of mental collection of just fly about, do what you want out here.
Okay. So Azazel flies around. As I hit the mic. There we go. Tag mic. I didn't do it last week. It is a calm, quiet night. And for the 2 hours that you sort of spend watching out, very little happens. You see what looks like some wildlife maybe making their way down the mountain. See the odd bat flutter around. But generally this part of the mountain seems quite barren. Just that cold brown stone of these particular mountains. And your watch passes. You start to feel the tiredness begin to take over you. Looking at the position of the moon, you work out, yeah, okay, it's probably time for Kirik to wake now.
I go to Kirik just after I place a couple more logs from my bag of holding on the fire, just to keep it going. Hey, Kirik. Your time, mate.
Yeah. I'll get up.
It's been pretty quiet.
Good.
But
Good.
you probably want to keep close to the fire. bitingly cold, colder than these mountains should be. So, keep close to the fire.
Will do, thank you.
I will
Okay.
go to sleep. Slightly further away from the fire. Like, if everyone's in a ring, I'm just on the outside of it or whatever.
Okay. Kirik, what are you doing?
Not much. I will be looking out, firstly, try to keep my normal watch. But then besides that, I'll just be thinking about like the past week or two, and absent-mindedly I'll be like grabbing a stick or something, and I will be just kind of like moving dirt on the floor and realize just before waking Ender up that I actually scribbled that symbol I saw when Theogordan was destroyed. And I'll just kind of replicate it every now and then erase it.
Okay. Make me an Arcana check as you do that, please.
Arcana, that's a 9.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you sort of sketch this symbol, and something sort of almost tingles in your mind, but other than that, nothing. Could just be the after effects of a jaunt through death, for all you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, you two sit on your watch, and very little happens. The night gets colder still. You wrap some of the furs and stuff that you've bought previously around yourself to keep warm. Sit a little bit closer to the fire. Keep the fire stoked with what wood you can find and using what you can. And yeah, your watch passes.
I'll wake Ender up. It's your turn.
Oh, please, Dad, 5 more minutes.
Yeah, Ender. I'll kind of just...
Oh! Yeah. Kirik. Oh, sorry, I was dreaming.
It's alright.
I suppose it's my turn.
It is, yeah. It's cold, so stick to the fire. And I'll go to sleep.
Okay. Kirik lays his head down. Ander, anything in particular you're doing during your watch?
I will. I've got my furs on because it's fucking cold, and I will just sit close to the fire really, and just look out ahead on the pass. Just keep my eyes peeled as far as I can see with the firelight. To be honest.
Okay. Make me a perception check, please.
$19.
Okay. Good to know. So you just sit and ponder and think on the past couple of days' events. And every now and again, like Dargon and Kirik, a couple of bats fly by. You hear some shuffling. You sort of look, realise it's just some small critter moving around. But it's relatively uneventful. It is deathly quiet up here. There's the gentle sound of wind, the odd snore from Bothrid and Dargon. But it is eerily quiet, and actually that quiet seems to be almost deafening after the last couple of days of, well, mourning, frivolity, chaos, calamity. All those things start to go through your head. And as you ponder the last couple of days and sort of relive all the events through your mind, your 2 hours passes. And you go wake Bothrid up.
Okay. Bothrid.
Wood.
It's time for your watch.
Oh, okay. Ooh, do not look after fire too good.
Sorry, I was quite paranoid about stoking it too much and it being too obvious. I don't know what to expect in these mountains, so I've just kept it lit enough for a bit of warmth. You should be fine.
Okay. Bothrid
But
then
feel
sort
free
of
to
steps up
stoke
to the
it
fire,
around
places his
breakfast
hand on the
time.
ground, and as his hand hits the ground, you can see these sort of flowers and vines just begin to grow around the fire and sort of instantly begin to catch fire and burn a little bit. Should do till sun rises. Sleep well.
Wake me up when it's breakfast.
I will have it cooking.
That's why I love you, Bufford.
Good stuff. Cool. So Bothrid spends spends about an hour or so keeping watch, and then the sun begins its slow rise, and sort of bathes the plateau in this strange shadowy twilight for a time. And in that time, Bothrid sort of gets a little bit jumpy, because as twilight can always be, it starts to play tricks on your mind. You see random shadows, random shapes, but generally nothing happens. And after an hour or so, he thinks, okay, let's start to get some food ready. So he begins to get rations out, begins to get sort of pots out, and starts making what he can of a coffee sort of drink, brewing some sort of, cooking some sort of meats, and sort of trying over. At one point, he does just sort of uses his druidic abilities to whip a bat out of the air. Using a thorn whip, sort of drags it down, and begins to sort of skin that and cooks it, and it's quite a large bat. And you all begin to wake to the smell of cooking food, warm drink, and the smell of breakfast on a cool summer morning.
Because we ate before we went to bed and then we slept, do we lose our exhaustion level, or do we have to eat breakfast first?
Your exhaustion level will be gone.
And aid will be gone as well, won't it?
Did we
shit.
did we eat before we went to bed?
I think Ander had some snacks and stuff before he went to bed.
Well, I've
Cool.
got some stuff there.
It's fine by me.
Yeah.
I'm on
So
75
yeah,
hit points
and we'll
now,
say
because eight's
as you
gone.
eat breakfast as well, that would have got rid of it, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's get rid of that. So you're on 75.
Good stuff.
106 for me.
I suppose I should actually click the take a long rest.
A lowly 106.
128 for Bothrid.
Oh, he was on that anyway, wasn't he? He didn't get it.
Yeah. Bothrid never gets aid. Nobody cares about Bothrid.
He's a
The
bastard.
sucker hit
Yeah,
points.
yeah,
Come
he's
on,
fine.
he doesn't need any more.
It's all good fun. Okay. So, you all eat breakfast. Anybody doing anything particular? Andy, would you like to use this time to now sort of identify a couple of the potions and stuff?
I've got lots to
All the
identify. Yeah,
scrolls.
I'll start with the potions, I think.
Okay.
I think there's two red ones which are pretty easy to identify as health potions, I believe.
Yep. So, this was
That's all I
from...
remember from last time. So
Yep, no, I've got it.
I got-
So,
I got 6 from the keep, and I got 2 from. I found 8 in total. That's all I remember. I can't remember where I got them.
you
now.
did indeed. So there were 2 potions of greater healing, which you almost instantly recognise. And I will then say you take the time during the morning to look at 2 vials of liquid.
Yep.
When I bring up my notes and get the right tab open, which is going to take me apparently a couple of minutes because I'm not quick enough. So, bear with me.
Hey, Kiri. We, and I know we said we're going up here. We planning to skirt round the forest, stay on the mountain, head down at some point. I assume we've got to go under the mountain. Like I said, I'd be more than happy to go over, but I don't think you two would make it.
I think once we know we're probably past the ruins of Escalion, we then cut across the grassland towards, well, northeast towards Mananir. So then we skirt around any potential leftover evils in the ruins of Escalion, and then what I imagine to be relatively small. The forest is bigger than I remember, looking at the map. Unless you feel the cover of the forest will be good, given there's potentially an evil dragon knocking about. Whether you want that sort of cover.
I mean, do we have more cover in the mountains or in the open plains?
My only worry is I'm a bit of a wussy in the cold, and I don't know. I don't want to be a burden on you guys if the mountains get any worse.
DM, do we either know from our treks whether we have passed the ruins of Escalion? Can we see it as we're high up? Is there anything that we might know?
Make me a perception check from the edge of the plateau, please.
That was nearly a 20. Instead, it is a 12.
A 12. So from the plateau that you stand on, you can quite clearly see the forest.
Cool.
And you know that just heading down, you would enter the forest itself. You can also see what looks like these huge icy patches. And you can sort of assume, or you make the assumption that that is where the ruins were and where the Zapanir breached.
Is that ahead of us, parallel to us, or directly to our east, or behind us?
Difficult to tell from this height, bearing in mind as you look down, perception gets a little bit.
Yeah.
But it looks like you could head almost directly east and probably get around there, around that area.
Yeah.
Does involve going down the mountain with no real path, though, so it will not be an easy journey.
It's a good question. I was just wondering where Zapanir might be, whether she's gone back to the ruins or hiding out in the mountains somewhere. I'm guessing we're nearby. It's cold. We'll have to see if it gets any warmer or colder. That'll probably tell us where Zapanir is. I'm going to guess it gets colder. But yeah.
I can, if we need it, I can grant us the ability of walking on the snow without it being an impediment. So...
Ooh.
Nice.
Well, maybe then we continue on the mountains until we can no longer continue on the mountains, and then head across the grassland.
That's not a bad idea.
Just out of interest, Garrett, if we do all start plummeting to our deaths, you can't bamf us back into that temple again, can you?
I can't, no.
Hold on tight then, boys. I am obviously in favour of going up the mountains, through the mountains and so on. So, no argument from me.
Okay. What was my
And make me an
two
investigation
potions
check, please.
I've got my goggles of minute detail, so I can have advantage on it if I'm using them up close, yeah?
Nice.
Nice! Thank you, Dargon. 21.
21. You pull out... The first one you pull out is a potion that looks smells very much like a potion of healing. Still got that red colour to it. However, because you're proficient with herbalism as well, I'm saying you, as you smell it, and with that roll specifically, there's a touch of something else in it. A touch of something that doesn't smell quite right. You think this may be something masked as a potion of healing.
Ooh. I like it.
Lol.
Okay.
Am I getting it as a whisper?
No, that's all you get from that one.
Oh. Oh, God. When am I going to use that? I'll give it a Bofford for a laugh.
Okay. The second one you pull out. Make me another investigation check, please.
With advantage. Ooh. 15.
Add your proficiency bonus on top of that, because it's herbalism.
19.
19. This one almost looks like pure water, but there is also a sparkle to that, a glittering effect to that water.
Sparkling spring water. Got some Pellegrini.
And it also seems to
Have a bit of
be
Pellegrino.
more viscous. Appears to be more viscous than normal water. Quite a thick liquid, almost to the point where as you tip it, it almost like slime just sort of
Like fizzy spit.
sticks. Kind of like that, yeah.
Sugar syrup.
Very similar, but as I say, it looks like pure water, but it's got this sort of glittering effect to it. I am going to ask you to make me a history check, but add your proficiency bonus on top of this anyway, because of herbalism.
Oh, get in. 27.
You instantly recognise this. Have you heard of it before? It's rare, and you've only ever come across it once before and seen it used once before, when Johannes took you to a herbalist and sort of was showing you various things after you showing an interest in herbalism. You recognise this as a potion of aqueous form.
What?
I don't even think I know what that is in real life.
You can search for it on D&D Beyond.
Do I become a Magikarp if I drink it?
That's a whole different stream.
Oh, you've got to search for that. It's great.
I transform into a pool of water.
They are two. Oh, they are the two that you figure out.
Transform
This
into a puddle
morning-
of piss.
Oh, mate,
Which
that's
is usually
pretty
what
cool.
happens with Andrew on a night out anyway.
I was about to say, yeah.
I wake up in the
Has a
puddle
few
of
too
piss.
many drinks. How's that one?
Oh, I'm happy with that. And that's
Okay.
all I can discern over breakfast. That's fair.
That's all of the two. All of you can discern over breakfast from those
Literally
two
piss yourself.
potions.
Only 5 left, and 10 scrolls.
It's all right. We can stop
So
for second breakfast.
Yeah,
11's.
I'll tackle that over brunch. Right.
Okay.
Here's a question: if I'm in the mountains and I turn into a puddle of water, will I freeze?
Freeze into a stalactite halfway down a mountain.
Yeah. And then you stab somebody using me.
Well,
as
if you
an
transform
ice pick.
back and you're stuck to the mountain, what part of you is stuck to the mountain?
Screw 'em.
There we go. I just knew it was. I knew it was going to be.
Like in Dumb and Dumber when his tongue gets stuck to the pipe. You knew the answer you'd get when you asked that question.
I fully expected it, and that's why I asked it.
Okay.
Because we're mature adult humans.
I am assuming we are now making our way north.
Just as Anders looking at stuff, I will cast a 4th level aid.
Yeah, you will.
Oh my god.
Will I get over 100 this time?
So that's 15.
Tease.
I can't. I could do 5th level, but even then, I don't think you'd go. You'd go to 95.
Oh, that's kicking the tits in it.
So yeah, on Ander, Kirik, and Dagon.
And that puts us back on to
95 for Ander.
I believe.
90, because I only did one of his, and 100 and... What was it?
20, 121.
121? Yeah. Hits the one. I'll find the path. Going through these
Make me
mountains,
a
if you don't
survival
mind.
check, please. And I will say do so with advantage.
Are we on snow already? Sorry, I
Nope.
totally missed that. Okay.
Still on rock.
Okay, survival. There, nice. 15.
15. Yep. You move further along the plateau and you can see where the goat path has actually been trudged a bit bigger, and you get this maybe where the Cyclops have sort of been moving to and from. And as you now make your journey off, you also see where this larger stomped out path turns up to the left and heads further up into the mountain, sort of higher up the mountain. It is up to you at this point whether you continue on straight or you follow that large path to go higher up. You can continue skirting around the edge or sort of along this level altitude if you like, or you can go left.
So yeah, so we do have the choice
Follow
of
the
staying
Cyclops
level or going higher. What's the plan then, guys?
I think we go up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I trust your lead, Dagon.
At least we can hopefully get a better vantage point. See if we get to the top whether we can find it's noticeably colder or snowier in one location. We might even be able to see Mountaineer if the air quality is good enough. You never know.
So you're heading further up.
Yeah. Up it is.
Okay. Okay, so you continue on for a couple of hours following this larger, trumped, smashed out path within the mountains. And after probably about an hour and a half, you begin to find the first flurries of snow. And as you then continue on, it becomes a lot snowier, a lot thicker with snow. There is also now almost a faint like sleet in the air, even though the sun still shines out beyond. It's just almost like the snow is being blown off the mountain, creating this sort of sleet effect around you. It's a very light wind, so even though it's not that annoying, shall we say. You can feel it. It's not doing too much to you. It doesn't really soak you through. You just get sort of this fine film of moisture on you as you continue up north and continue up into the mountains, and this sort of bends up further. And eventually you realise that actually you've been climbing one mountain, and as it now bends back around, you can see how this larger path is carved, but now begins to head back down towards sort of the next mountain as you would then come off, if that makes sense. So sort of traversing between the two mountains, and there's this snowy, almost glacial type effect that sort of bridges both of these two mountains. You also notice... In fact, no. Make me a perception check. Do this the right way.
Perception.
28.
Nice.
Oh,
Very good.
22.
Very good as well.
That was 11 for Kirik.
That was 11 for Kirik. Okay. Ander and Dargon, as you're looking out, you see... As you're going down, it's almost like there is a ridge or a ledge on part of the side of the path. And there is an entrance there. It looks like a cave entrance of sorts. And then the path continues on further and then sort of disappears over a little ledge and goes further down, but you can't see beyond that.
So you can see a cave entrance on this path we're leading on.
Yes. So as this heads down now, there is a big old cave entrance, and then sort of the path goes over a ledge, and you no longer see where it goes after that.
You see a
Who
cave
rolled the
entrance.
higher out of you two? Andy, you got 28, didn't you?
Aye.
Make me an investigation check, please.
It's 19.
19. As you now see the entrance and pay close attention to it, you can see an outline of what looks like a proper archway to this. And as you peer closer and closer, there's something that feels very dwarven about it. It's got that very blocky, clunky dwarven architectural feel to it.
I think that's a dwarven tunnel.
So,
But, I mean, at least the entrance is carved in a dwarven fashion.
I was sort of
Yeah.
expecting Cyclopses, to be honest.
Well, it's not necessarily a good thing because we've been told how untrusting the mountain dwarfs are. So it could still be hostile in there, but at least hopefully if they speak common or one of the languages we speak, I speak even, I can actually implore some diplomacy and at least try and talk our way through if it comes to that. So don't go banishing anyone just yet if we come across anyone, Kirik.
No, I think talking is a good idea. If we meet someone, I can make you understand them, so you can hopefully talk us out of it. Need be.
Ooh. Yes.
Look, as we get closer, let's just make sure that it looks like it's being kept well. We found Cyclops up here. Maybe we need to make sure they haven't taken over the mountains and smashed their way into here, and we're actually walking into a massive bunch of them.
Oh. With it being a dwarven opening, is it smaller, as in Cyclops wouldn't fit in it? Or is it quite grand?
From what you can see here, and I will say you do move a little bit closer just to get a better look. Despite it being dwarven architecture, and you would know that the dwarves don't tend to build stuff for their size, so a lot of things are quite grand in scale. So this archway looks like it was once massive, but it has been smashed and ruined. So you only get sort of half of it that told you that it was once a dwarven archway, and the rest of it's just been sort of blasted and smashed open. If there were doors there, they are no longer there, although you do see some remnants of sort of golden brass-like hinges. And there looks like there may have once been a figurehead of sorts above it, but that has now been smashed to the point where you only get sort of this ear and sort of the top corner of a skull. or the top of the head.
Is the entrance kind of like on a mountain where we would know that if we were to go in, we would be going like west, or would we be going north by going into that?
You would be heading west if you went into that.
Oh, we found a secret entrance.
I mean, I suppose it's what we want to do, if we want to stick to our plan, or if we want to explore this.
I think we've got a couple of options. We skirt around it and see if there's another way along the mountains, but we don't know how long it's going to be. These guys, if they're still around, they'll have made tunnels that are probably quite useful. They'll get us around. Even if not, those tunnels are still there, and we've got to fight our way through whatever is taking residence. So I say, best option is go in. But that's also with the other option of just carrying on. Or also, there's other stuff in here that if it is no longer habited, we can reclaim and use as gifts if we ever have to go to Mountaineer and grease some palms.
That is because we do need a gift for the dwarves. If we are potentially
literally giving them their own stuff back by way of return because we recently found it. Come on.
Yeah, that is good. And at the very least, at least we know this will give us a shortcut, safer passage to Shiverspire than across the top of the mountains, for sure.
Yeah, I suppose this tunnel is here for a reason, so might as well try it.
We can always back out, but
True.
Yeah, we can always backtrack if we need to.
Hey, at least this one doesn't have a door on it, because that would have done us over.
I mean, there's no saying we're not going to come unstuck later on, and there'll be...
Sure.
Well, it's been a while since we've done a tunnel crawl, or a...
Yeah.
The last one.
Been a little bit.
The last one did bear fruit, though, if I remember rightly. So,
True.
okay, the first one bore fruit because we met the seer. The second one we released an ancient dragon, but I'm kind of glossing over that one a little bit.
Yeah, you seem to also be glossing over the tunnel run where you got your fucking sword, Ander.
There's the tunnel run. There was the chest which poisoned Ander and then
That was
killed
town.
him.
Look, I've repressed some things. I'm glossing over some other things.
That we can clearly see. You do not need to convince me. I'm happy to go in and have a look. As much as I love the mountains, let's go and see inside. I've never been in. Come on.
Well, if you love the mountains, go
agree.
inside them.
As you set off, Bothrid grabs Ander by the shoulder, pulls you back.
What?
You not see so good in dark. Maybe this help. And he just slaps you on the face twice and grants dark vision to you.
What do you mean, Bothrid? He has those goggles that he helps him see in the dark.
Well,
You know, the ones who lost.
I lost them.
So you now have dark vision for 8 hours and can see up to 60 feet
Nice!
with dark vision.
Thank you, Bufford.
Are we going... well, I suppose we'll know as we go in, but let's decide on whether we have light or no light. Are we going to go in with no light for all of this for now?
But if I can see
if we can all
We all know see in dark.
Cool.
We can all see. We might as well carry on without light.
Remind me to only take out my sword if we are starting a fight, because otherwise that will be one hell of a beacon.
we are not
Dark
starting
returns to you and
any
go,
fights.
only take out sword when we infight. Otherwise it'd be one
Beat
hell
it
of
to
a
it.
Cheers, Bob. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. Fucking not having any help from you guys again. Bloody hell. Right, yeah, I'll turn around and... yeah, head towards it.
Okay.
I mean,
So you...
just to stop you there. Is it worth maybe the one of us that doesn't sound like a clang clang cowbell as he's walking through an echoey tunnel. Is it best maybe if I go first, just in case, just to have a little peek before you announce yourself?
Potentially.
After you.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll scout ahead.
I shall wait by the door,
the trolley.
or however close we're getting.
So, I'll say, Andy, you sort of nimbly step into this entrance. Make me a stealth check, please.
Happily. Oh, I rolled a 1. 9. After giving it the big into Dargon, I fucking...
As you step around the corner, you actually fall over a loose rock and just sort of slide a little bit. And there is a moment of, oh shit. But nothing happens.
All clear. Come on in.
Your best work.
As you now stand, you notice that there is this larger tunnel. This thing could, to put it in more modern day terms, could easily fit like a full-on Oliphant from Lord of the Rings through it. It is massive.
In modern terms, and then it gets an Oliphant. I thought you were going to say like a bus.
I was going to put it in like modern day reference terms, nothing from D&D, because I don't think they've got Oliphants in D&D. Do you want it? It can fit a fucking Tarask through here, can we? That would be massive, by the way. It's not that big. So it is this giant tunnel. And you can see along the sides, with your dark vision now, everybody being able to see this, you can see the remnants of dwarven architecture, sort of dwarven statues, what look like these great big dwarven braziers that once burned. It looks like there may have once been great gemstones which hung in here, which have been since removed. And you can see the damage that, whether it was the Cyclops or something else, have wreaked throughout this tunnel. And you sort of head in and leave the entrance behind you. And eventually you reach another archway that looked like it was once a door again. I need everybody to make me perception checks, please.
"21."
Captain Perception today, mate.
16.
22.
Okay.
I've got dark vision there, bro.
You all notice that the walls around this entrance seem to have been bored away by something. And you can also now see just beyond this entrance there is what looks like the last or the bottom of a statue, but it has just been almost like shorn off, but it's smoother than any blade or anything could cut through, literally like it's just been disintegrated off. As you look to your left and right, you notice that these are very straight tunnels that go off left and right, but they actually stop, and then it's almost like it continues again.
What's the temperature like in here?
Pleasant, we shall say. It's not cold, it's not warm, it's cool. It's got that damp, cool underground feeling, but it is not like the icy cold you once felt within Zapanir's lair, if you like. Old lair.
With it,
resting place.
Saying they've been bored, almost like tremors have gone through it. Would I recognise it as any large burrowing creature type marks?
Maybe a nature check, please.
Natural 20, 30.
Wow.
You're rolling well tonight.
As you sort of actually walk up to the statue and you place your hand on it and you touch it and you look at it. No creature has done this.
Okay.
in fact, the only thing you can assume is this has to have been done by either a magical effect or something akin to that, as a random tabaxi enters the room and starts.
It's my cat for a change.
I was about to say, it's not. I was about to say,
Yeah.
first off, I can hear it, so it's clearly not mine.
Yeah, mine's a gobshite, unlike yours.
Oh, here she is. Here she is. And she turns up as well.
Almost on
Literally
cue.
turns up as you. Whoa, oh no.
Freedom,
oh, no.
freedom.
Freedom. I want my freedom. And I won't get my freedom.
Unarmed strike! Cha!
There you go.
That's it, floor strike.
Flurry of blows.
Okay, so I'm also going to say with that investigation check, with that nature check. In fact, no, not with the nature check. I am going to ask anybody to now make me an investigation check around the entrance of this cave.
Are we thinking this is magical? Oh, 24. That was a natural 19.
Oh, shit. I got a 12 even
Six.
when the goggles on.
16.
16. Kirik and Dargon, you both now notice probably about 30 or 40 feet in front of you there is quite a large hole, but it just looks like it's been bored out of the ground, and as you sort of creep forward and approach it, you can see it just goes directly down into darkness.
Oh shit.
I'll cast light on a pebble and drop it.
Okay. As you cast light on a pebble, lights up the cavern for a little bit, and as you see that sort of light burst out, you can see some in the two sort of chambers, if you like, that have been bored out, or look like they've been bored out, or at least squared off. Looks like there's some items left and right, but then you drop the pebble in and it just falls, and that light just diminishes.
Does this just disappear?
Just continues to fall.
Shit.
Oof. Oh, I'm not going down there. Is there a path like the one we were walking forward, or is it just literally just go down?
So there are these sort of two chambers left and right. There's this hole down, and then the path does continue onwards.
Is it possible for us to go like around the hole?
Yeah.
Or is it okay? Should we keep moving? This seems to be way too deep for any of us to make it, so
Yeah, if we didn't know that pebble and we can't see it, our rope's not long enough. Simple as that.
yeah.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay.
Unless you want to check these side chambers, or are they just tunnels just the same?
I think I did see some items when we turned the light on, but
Like dwarven treasure, perhaps?
I didn't see that well. But we can go and check.
I vote check.
Let's go and check.
Okay. We're going left or right first.
Let's go right, I guess.
Okay. As you head towards the right, you eventually sort of, again, this is still quite a large chamber, but you approach the end and you can see again what is left of this great stone or carved stone head, dwarven, quite obvious in nature, and beneath the sort of the chin is this great stone table with a lot of smashed items on. The only thing that seems to be left intact is a single urn.
Does the urn itself look like dwarven in craft?
It does, yes.
Dagon, is this magical at all?
I will cast detect magic and have a look. Close my eyes.
It is a
open them up
cantrip,
again.
isn't it?
Cast detect.
I can do it at
So
will.
Cast detect magic and look at this urn. Nope. It just somehow miraculously, it's laid on its side, mind you, but miraculously it seems to have survived whatever carnage has gone on in here.
Nah, it's just a lucky bit of stuff, that is.
I'd like to take the lid off and see what's in it.
Okay. As you take the lid off, there is like a small sound of air rushing in, and then just this as ash just over your face.
As I do that, I smack Andrew on the back like,
That doesn't look pleasant.
No,
Did you just inhale dwarf?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But ironically, it's not the first time I've had a dwarf in my mouth.
And the room on the left.
Why were you eating dwarf?
I'll let you just think about it, Kirik, and if I might explain to you later if you haven't figured it out.
Right. Okay.
I mean, there was a pork sword involved, but I didn't eat it.
I have to make notes of this shit, people.
Oh, dear, yeah, fun with that. Well, I guess we'll take the urn.
Yes, it could be a good
Okay.
gift. We just need to make sure that the lid stays secure. We don't want to spill any more of the remains.
Okay, so you
I can put it in
placing
my bag of
the
holding
lid
if you
back
wish.
on.
Yeah.
You sort of place the lid, squeeze it back in. It sounds like it seals again.
I'll put it in my bag of holding then.
In your bag of holding. Cool. Are we going to the left-hand side?
Yerp.
Yep.
As you head down towards the left-hand side, there is a lot of rubble on this side. Again, you see that effect of what looks like some boulders and rocks have just been very neatly shorn, like just cut. And again, you find another stone table and what look like the remnants of stone chairs, but nothing else of interest or note.
I'm just double checking. One of us has done the investigation on these cuttings to not be, to find out whether it's magical.
Well, one of you's done a
animal.
nature
Magical,
check.
yeah.
Fine. Yeah, that's cool. I don't want to repeat anything.
I mean, it depends what you're looking for, ultimately.
Whether it was magical. It looks too smooth, as in, there's no, again, it wasn't done by axe or, tools or teeth. So, they're...
Yeah, make me an Arcana check.
3.
Not a clue.
These doors are fucking good as stone.
You can kind of deduce that it kind of has to be something like that, but you can't confirm it, and you sense no traces of magic with the 3. All right.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Other room.
Heading down the corridor now.
Okay. So you head down the corridor, you sort of skirt round the hole, and you probably head another 100 feet or so in, and you find another hole in the ground, very similar to the last. Can't see a bottom to it as you look down, so it's deeper than 60 feet at least. Are you continuing on?
Yeah.
Hey guys.
It's going well so far.
Yeah. You remember when we were at, over on the other island, Greenflower Island? In that room
Yes.
with the king, there were holes. Really big holes. From this in the ceiling. And horrible, what were they, guardians or something? Stone guardians fell down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's not the same thing, is it?
This is quite a drop.
No. If anything, it'll just be spot. Let's move on. Let's move on quickly. Just
All right.
in case.
Okay. So you're skirting around this hole and continuing on?
These holes are just in the ground. They're not then above. It's not like they've just pierced whatever this has happened to pierce straight through.
Make me a perception check, please.
Okay.
In fact, make me an
Oh yeah, we
investigation
haven't looked
check.
up. That's a good point.
Also, how wide? How
A
wide
natural
are they?
20 for a change.
Nice.
A natural 20 is you look up
Or
almost
24.
directly above where this hole has come up. You also see another hole boring up.
Hey guys, you know that cave where there was stuff in the roof? Yeah.
Oh, can we see light coming through it?
No.
Ooh.
And we were on the top of the mountain when we came into this thing.
No, you've sort of gone into a...
Oh, into the
You're
side.
on that. Remember, you're on the right-hand side, and you've sort of gone up and then come down, and then there's still more mountain. And
Okay,
now
yeah.
you've descended into a bit of mountain a bit. So
Could just be a quick way to travel down.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I mean,
it could
it's
just be
it's a
like,
one-way trip at this point.
Maybe it was the remnants of just old wells, mine shaft type things, and there would have been ladders here at one point. I don't know. Is there any remnants of anything, or just a big smooth hole? There's no like climbing apparatus or anything anywhere.
it's, as far as you can tell, just this very smooth, directly vertical hole.
All right. I got nothing.
Now I'm nervous.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
I mean,
We can't really go up.
nothing's
Can't really
happened
go
yet.
up it.
No.
Can't go down. So
No.
there's nothing we can really do. I say we just keep going.
Straight on.
Onward.
Okay.
Onward.
You head on for another 100 feet or so, 120, 150. You find another archway. And you find another statue that has been demolished. And just that sort of bottom bit is the only bit that's remaining.
Anything written on the bottom of the statue?
Make me an investigation check, please.
A 13.
There are some carvings, what look like they may be words. I don't believe you speak Dwarvish, though. Or understand
I
Dwarvish.
do not.
Okay. Does anybody understand Dwarvish?
Nope.
Nope.
Don't think so.
Bothrid does.
Hey. That's happy
I'm not sure why Bothrid understands Dwarvish, but it's on his character sheet, so I'm going with it.
Seems to be in.
pick by you, which I definitely miss.
Seems to be writing in here, but I don't speak this language, so I don't know if any of you guys
Sorry,
do.
I
Nah.
can't help you.
Bothrid sort of ducks down, looks. You short dwarves. Who dare speak? Says King.
King?
You can speak.
Anything
You can
else?
speak Dwarvish.
Yes.
I didn't know you could read.
You just barely speak common. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have got you a picture book for Christmas last year.
I only know this language from speaking with you. I speak
Makes sense.
to goblins. I fight dwarves. Yeah. And I speak to plants.
On that note, you're not going to fight this lot unless we go into fights, yeah? Just double checking.
I'm rethinking our diplomatic approach. I think
what?
Bothrid might be our envoy to the Dwarven Kingdom.
He just said he was fighting dwarves. I just want...
Yeah, I fight dwarves. Hey, you go ahead. You do the talking.
We
It's
don't
fine.
like dwarves. Dwarves have spiky
good.
axes. They sting.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, well, we're going to try and
good.
skirt around them. Anyway, King, I thought.
That's all it says.
I mean, what?
Just says king.
And with the statue itself, it doesn't look like. Well, you can't discern who the statue is of because it's all smashed up, right?
Oh, it's not. It's not even smashed up. There's literally nothing of it left apart from the bottom plinth, basically.
Okay. So that's either a dwarven king, one of the brother kings, or
both. As in one of the same thing. Yeah. Fuck has happened in these tunnels? I can't work it out.
I'm starting to think we should probably pick up the pace a little bit. I'm getting a bit more nervous.
I agree.
Everybody make me a perception check, please.
20.
Ooh, 24.
9.
20 and
We
a
haven't had to
24 and a
open
9.
Albert Rodeo yet, so it can't be going too bad.
Yet.
As
Oh, this is...
you're all looking at this statue, Kirik and Andy, you can hear this strange sort of noise.
Coming from behind us or from in front of us?
Coming from somewhere ahead of you. Seems to echo.
Can I determine whether that is a natural wind or like anything else?
Make me a nature check, please.
Could be the end of the tunnel.
19. 16 even.
16. It almost sounds like there is something moving through the air.
Oh.
Yay!
It
I
sounds
will
like...
also say you then hear this strange sound.
Did you
Oh, that's not pleasant.
hear that? I mean, there was the whistling, but did you hear what sounded like lip smacking?
Sounded very strange. Looking around us, do we see
Dargon,
Dagon? I think it's
time to pull the sword.
light time.
Whip it out, Dargon.
Just pull out Timiel's Wrath, light the place up.
Okay. This. How much radiant light did that get off?
I believe it's 120 feet while I check.
I think it's 60 and 60 or something.
I thought it was
Stupid
120
like that.
feet.
Yeah.
But it might, I think it's 60 of bright, 60 of dim.
Might be
Yeah,
that.
sorry. Yeah, it's got 120 feet of dark vision. Let me just find out what it actually then says.
might not say
Oh no,
anything
I'm wrong actually. 1440. Yeah.
1440.
You've been overselling
Okay,
that.
so you can actually... So this bright light does come out and it illuminates the area around you. And then... Let me just do some measurements.
Oh great, he has actually got one up. Hawking magic.
Of course I've been tracking all this. With the 80 feet of vision you've now got either side of it, you can see what looks like a cracked stone table down a chamber to the right-hand side, and what looks like a cracked stone chair as well. And then to the left there is this raised platform which looks like it's almost been shattered outwards. And as the light hits, there looks like there's this reddish, ruby-like shine that forms on some of the pieces. You also notice there's one chamber going left, one chamber going right. There looks like there's another chamber going off at an angle, but still straight, just up sort of further on the left, and a third one even beyond that. But on the right-hand side, there is this one chamber with a cracked stone table, and then there is another straight chamber that goes off to the right, and that seems to be where the sound is coming from.
From the cracked
No, the one beyond that.
beyond that one.
So I think now is the time to share the map.
Here we go. Here we go. So
Here
I'm
we
gonna
go.
kick off.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, we are just going to turn around and run the other way, guys, aren't we? Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So while the guys are loading up the map, I will remind everyone once again that we are still running our NPC competition. So once we hit 50 followers, we will allow one of those lucky followers to create an NPC with me to feature in the game. So you get a little bit of piece of you with inside of Malt and Magic. And yeah, so don't miss out on that chance. Please do follow along. I've also sort of kind of committed in the chat now that when we hit 100 followers, we'll do a full cosplay event as well. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think
we've committed
there's a
to
passing comment.
We're
But
doing it. We're
but
doing
why
a
the fuck not?
cosplay hot tub stream.
I didn't go that far. I'll agree to the cosplay. Hot tub, maybe not. So there we go. Cool. So ignore Incarnate there. It doesn't have just like a plinth of a statue.
Yeah.
So just imagine that's a destroyed bit.
yeah.
As I say in one of my other D&D games, don't take the map as directly gospel. There are some details that are not exactly the same, but still, you can see what is on there now. If you zoom out a bit, Dave, they will then see the chambers left and right, and you'll see. In fact, I think pretty much with the 80 foot of light you've now got. The only bit you can't really see, and I will do a little bit of fog there for you, is going to be sort of that area.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
probably that area, and probably a little bit over here. Alright. That's probably the extent of your vision.
So is this like a end of cave kind of situation, or do we see a way?
Well, the path certainly doesn't
through?
seem to continue directly ahead.
And you said that it was top right where we heard some noises coming from.
The sound seems to be coming from this area, yes.
I will just use Timiel's Wrath to just point in that direction. I know we all know where it is because they heard it before me.
Mm-hmm. Should we just go have a peek, make sure that it's actually nothing there waiting to jump on us, and that way we can see if there's an actual passage that we're missing from here.
Yeah, shall we stagger it? You know, a couple of feet behind each other.
Yep.
10
Agree
feet.
with that.
10 feet or so. I'll go first.
I'll go second in that case.
I will bring up the rear.
Cool.
So I'm shooty long distance.
I will
I
slowly
will
start
say,
to creep
as
up until I can see
you
it.
step forward and creep a little bit slowly, everybody make me stealth checks, please.
Oh, yeah, that's going to go
Boffert's gonna be
great.
just in front.
Disadvantage!
Clang, clang, clang.
Cling, clang, cling,
Seven.
clang, cling, clang, cling, clang.
I am also at disadvantage.
Boffer got an unnatural 20.
Yeah, nice. I got a 7.
27 for me. I'm doing better than when I went in the cave.
I got a 7. I got a 7 as well, so.
Hey!
So 7 and a 7. There is the cling of armor as you step forward, and then you just hear this. It was around the corner.
Oh,
good.
fucking hell.
For fuck's
Are
sake.
We're
you
gonna take a short break.
serious?
Oh my god!
Oh.
Ah! Oh, I moved him. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Right, break time.
Heyo.
Hi.
I have a lot of well, I say I have a lot. I've got 3 very nervous players right now.
no!
Your first one.
So, yeah, welcome back, everyone. Thank you all for participating in the chat. It's great to see you. Great to hear from you all. I hope you're looking forward to this as much as I have been, because I've been sitting on this encounter for weeks.
Our pain is here for your pleasure.
Try not to look smug.
So yes, and I suppose with
the whole
that,
chat just looks
we've already
like-
talked about the NPC competition. Samal's got his t-shirt on. Samal's got his t-shirt. It arrived literally in the last
Literally
minute. So,
arrived during
Amazing.
break. Yeah.
Amazing.
so there we go. And with that, let's roll some initiative.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
I'm glad I'm at the back of the queue, put it that way.
Yeah.
Especially with an initiative.
Does the
roll of
beholder
9.
roll a natural 20 by any chance? Oh, my dice is going everywhere.
Okay.
He's panicking.
Come on, Grog dice. Come on.
Nice.
Fucking bullshit.
Bothrid rolled a natural 20.
Don't have advantage, so it is
Okay.
great. That. Wonderful.
Okay, Dargon.
8.
Oh.
Ander.
9.
Oh my god.
Bothrid got a 23. Kirik.
10.
Oh my god!
Oh, so okay, what are the odds?
Bothrid's just gonna go, "Charge!"
All I needed Bothrid to do there was roll an 11. That would have been amazing.
Oh no! No!
Okay,
Oh god, let's bring this
so
back up.
as
Hang
this beholder just... Because everybody knows what it is. The characters may not know specifically what it is, but we know what it is. The chat knows what it is, so I'm just going to call it what it is. As this beholder with these various eye stalks just sort of... As the eyes are just sort of popping around, just floats around the corner, and we'll put it back to where it got to, which was just about there, hovering about 10 feet off the floor. It is going to... Just looking at it. Yeah, okay, so it is facing that way, but you can see some of the eye stalks are like looking towards you. Bothrid is immediately, with the smallest sound of a wee bit of a trump, just sort of is gonna just wild shape instantly.
Good.
Or is he?
Good.
I need to do this the right way around.
on. I'm so distracted, I just poured my
Needs to
cider into my juice.
rage first.
I mean,
Love it.
it tastes the same.
That is amazing.
Is it apple juice and cider now?
Oh dear. So yes, sorry. Bothrid is going to wild shape, and is going to immediately wild shape into. What are we gonna go for? What's
I
got
might
lot
turn
of
into a
hit
puddle
points?
of water. Stay there.
Yeah, bollocks to it. Bothrid is just gonna step forward 5 feet, 10 feet, and is then going to make sure I've got my I have got my sizes right this time. He is gonna grow, make my monsters grow. Power Rangers, anyone? As he just polar bear form. This white bear
Nice.
now appears. Now he's moved what 5, 10, wild shaped. So he has got 30 feet of movement left. Let's sort my life out. There we go. Wild shape. And yes, so 30 feet of movement left is just gonna. In fact, he's gonna dash. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. When he gets to there... Oh, I should have looked this up.
I don't think it does.
I know what you... Yeah.
Enlighten the rest of us. / me.
Does. So the Beholder, for those that aren't familiar, has a certain ability. of its central eye. Basically projects an 150-foot cone of anti-magic field.
Of course it is.
Now, as Bothrid enters that, does it then affect it? And yes, it does. So as Bothrid enters this, just sort of runs up, you see him sort of launch and just stumbles down onto the floor. Bothrid is now in Bothrid form and is dashed and can't do a lot else. So the Beholder is then going to...
Does the Beholder go after... The Beholder goes after Bothrid?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Can I just check? So, risk of stitching us up here, does that mean if he looks at us with his big eye, aid disappears? As well as all of our magic items don't work?
Well, it's suppressed. It doesn't deactivate.
Yeah, it's suppressed. It's not like totally gone.
Yeah.
Is it
Just
100
why
foot
it's
beam,
looking
or
at
is it a
while it's
cone?
looking at you.
It's a cone.
It's a cone.
100 foot wide?
150 foot.
150
in
foot long. So
Yeah.
if it turned towards us, it would get us all right now, including
Yeah.
Bothrid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Time to move
Well,
around.
it's not going to get... If it turns towards you now, it's not
Yeah,
going
it
to
wouldn't get
Bothrid.
Bothrid, no.
But yeah. So, anyway. Moving back to this. Let's... How many of these we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. One of these.
Oh god, here we go. Russian roulette now.
How many dice you rolling?
3. Okay, so one of the eye stalks is going to turn immediately towards Dargon, and let's just check the range.
What did I do?
I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw as this purplish
Fucking
beam
magical.
of energy just towards you.
16.
Is the magic number?
Oh! I had a +0 on that.
You feel this melancholy effect overcome your brain for a second as your head starts to turn and you feel for just the briefest of seconds like, this beholder's cool, I can get on with this beholder, but then no shit, enemy, snap back into it. Kirik, you are then going to need to make me 1, 2, 3. I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. No, I'm gonna not use that dice. I'm gonna use this one. 16.
It's the magic number.
Roll the 7 on the dice.
Oh yeah, cheers. I rolled a fucking 16.
I'm rolling awful tonight. This is not the night to roll badly.
Use all of my lucky
So what did you roll there, sorry?
16.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, yeah, so you feel as this whitish ray sort of shoots out towards you, your body locks up and you feel fear rise, but then you just shake it off and know you are good. So then there
What
is
color
going
was
to-
the ray that went into
the
Dargon?
first one was purple.
Cool.
The second one, which has hit you, or is aimed towards you, was a whitish ray.
Cool.
And then the final one is this greenish, blackish sort of ray that just beams out towards Ander. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
I will use a lucky point because I'm scared.
Yeah, use that. Use that.
Do you have to use your lucky point before you roll, by the way, Danny? Is that a thing?
He has to declare he's using it before his roll.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
15.
Oh no!
This greenish
That's on the
black ray is
cusp,
just going to punch straight into you. As I mute that tab. You are going to take 39 points of necrotic damage.
Counterspell.
Oh, you fucking didn't!
Too far away, I think.
Am I?
What's the range on your
I don't know.
counterspell?
I don't know. I haven't
I think
checked
the spell is
the
actually
panic
60. I think 60 feet.
It just says as a reaction you can cast counterspell, so I'm just going to have to check what the counterspell spell is.
Yeah, check on. It should be on your spells. I think it's 60 feet.
Oh, I'm not fucking pressed something there and it's loaded up a different tab. Twat.
It's fine. It's fine. We're all nervous.
Panic! Panic!
Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Don't panic. Don't panic.
That was a pop culture reference for the kids there.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's 60 feet.
60 feet. Okay, so we'll say you don't use that.
I'm in range.
He's in range.
Are you?
Yeah.
He's 50 feet away.
Yeah, you are 50 feet away. I'll give you that. So I will say, as you go to cast counterspell, nothing happens.
Oh.
Oh, I've wasted it now. Bastard! Right, 39
There is a
points.
difference between magical effects and spells.
Damn it.
Well,
Something to
that's
discuss
right.
on Malt Magic more later. Don't miss that on Wednesday.
51. I'm on now. We're off to a good
Okay,
start.
that concludes the Beholder's go. Kirik.
Good. Right. This is going to paint a big target on my back, but fuck it. Seeing what has just happened, I am going to move. Oh, that is not what I meant to do. I'm going to move past Dargon 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, kind of side to side. Firstly, how much do I know of this creature?
Make me either an Arcana or Nature check, please.
Could I argue advantage because of my sage background?
Yes.
Ooh.
First time that one's coming out.
No, that's an unnatural 20 Arcana.
Okay. Yes, you have heard of these creatures. They are legendary in some tales. You know that they are from a world beyond worlds. And you know of how beholders work. You know that that central eye is probably the worst of all, because regardless of what abilities you may have, that will get rid of them temporarily. But equally, the eye stalks are as dangerous. You know it's not very quick.
Okay.
But yeah, you know of beholders.
Is it up
From
in the
the good
air
check.
slightly? Or...
It is hovering about 10 feet in the air.
Oh, 10 feet. Okay. Fine. Okay. Seeing that, as I'm running after Ander has been hit, I'll say, I'll take care of you in a bit. Stay away from the central eye, and I'm going to not dash, but like move to the side. And as I do that, you see that there is like the vein, like the holy symbol on Kirik just starts glowing, and then actually almost shoots an energy towards him. And his veins on his right arm start like pulsing with necrotic energy, or radiant energy in this case, and then formulate on his hand, and he's just going to open his hand and shoot. I'm going to cast Sunbeam.
Nice.
I only
need
pack
that is,
utility spells, I promise.
Beam of light from you, yeah?
Yeah, that's a 60-foot line, 5 foot wide, and I need the beholder to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, but it's good at
Constitution
those.
saving throw I can do.
Come on, fail.
15
He fails.
is a fail.
Ooh.
Okay, so as the beam of light is gonna the beam of light hits him, he's going to take 68 radiant damage, and because he failed, he's blinded.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Yeah, but now I've got a target.
Blinded, all of them.
Now I've got a target on my back.
Yeah, you do.
Does that mean
I'll leave that.
all
I'll
of
leave
his
that
eyes?
entirely up to Matt, or is blinded or not. Even if it's just the main one, I'm happy with that. Oh, come on.
Does that stop?
So 8, 9, 10, 10, 18, 20, 22. No, 18, 22 points of radiant damage.
22 points of radiant damage as
It's gonna
Kirik runs off to the side, and you hear him shout, "Stay away from the central eye!" And just as this whole cavern is instantly lit by this flare of sunlight, as radiant energy bursts out of Kirik's arm, strikes into the beholder, and you can just hear it because as the eyes sort of start popping and looking around all over the place. You can see the central eye is sort of lidded shut a little bit. I am also going to say with that, three of its eye stalks are also blinded by that.
Nice.
So I don't know where to look, and they would be at disadvantage.
Okay. There's also a 30-foot radius bright light that comes from my hand, and then dim light for another 30 feet, and this light is sunlight, just for the record.
How long is it blinded for?
He's blinded until my next turn. And on each turn I can use an action to do that again.
No worries. As your hand is now just glowing with this sort of pulsing sunlight.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Anything else on your turn?
I'm double checking, I haven't got that far. That is... Yeah, because I can't cast Spiritual Weapon, that's everything I can do for now. Oh boy. Cool.
Okay. The beholder's then going to use a legendary action.
Oh shit. He's got those. Fuck.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
As one of the eye stalks is just going to roll round to Bothrid. Bothrid's going to have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
Not quite enough. 15. Bothrid falls asleep as this bluish ray just
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Bothrid just falls down and is asleep, so he's unconscious for the next minute or until somebody wakes him up. Ander.
Can he
I
fall asleep?
will-
Can he fall asleep whilst... Oh no, he's not raging, right?
He's not raging.
With the angriest
This is
sleep.
why he
he's ever
used his
had.
wild shape first.
I will use steady aim to get advantage on the attack roll. I'm going to draw an arrow into my bow and I'm going to aim for its big fucking eye with my
Okay,
bow
you're aiming
arrow
for the big fuck off eye.
with a natural 20. Have some of that! 21 to hit.
Nice. Well done.
Go on, Rogue. Go on, Rogue.
So you use steady aim for that, yeah?
Hell yeah. And so then that's 16 piercing damage from the bow, and then a
Yep.
sneak attack damage of... Roll the dice, please. 26. And then because I get 2 sneak attack, I get my D4. I get 2 of them,
Which is
crit,
doubled
which
2d4. Yeah.
yeah, it's still 2 1s. Two more.
So
Yeah.
every little helps.
Damage. Yeah, damage is damage.
As you just immediately fire and this arrow flies true, hits into the lid of this central line. It does damage, but it's not sort of done a lot of damage to the eye as such. It's sort of hit into that central lid. You can see the beholder sort of blinking slightly with this arrow sticking out of it. It is a large creature.
So you're saying I should cast
Anything else
Reduce?
on your turn, sir?
Let's see. That's all I can do, so I can't use bonus action to use steady aim.
Okay. Gonna have another legendary action.
Yay!
Great.
Okay.
I've got too many things I can do, I can't decide.
Any of them.
Dargon, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Hawking magic.
Oh, fuck.
Ah, 4. 2 plus 2.
One of the larger eye stalks just whips round towards you, and this bright green ray just...
Oh, shit.
In fact, no, sorry. Solid black ray just shoots out towards you.
Fuck it.
You are going to take, when the dice move off my screen, because I'm using D&D Beyond for
God,
that one.
is that the one?
That's a lot of
You are going
dice.
to take 45 points
Oh,
of
that's not too bad.
necrotic damage.
Why did I think I was resistant to necrotic? Why?
Because you
I am.
haven't.
Because you
You have
used
an
to have
armor that
armor
does
of
that.
necrotic resistance.
Thank you,
You're
that
not
was
using
why,
it.
and because I'm a twat, I took it off. Yeah, great. Brilliant. Great, lovely.
You've got 10 minutes to put that back on, right? You've got 100 rounds to spare.
Didn't I also... Oh, hang on a minute.
Just put the helmet on your fist and just punch it.
Sorry, I need to redo all of this. Hang on. Right, 45. Sorry, I had not got my... There we go.
45 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah, I had managed to get rid of my aid again, which was hilarious. Right, okay, yes, fine, done. Oh, far too much hard work.
Cool. And it is then your go.
What color was the one that impacted Bothrid? Just
Blue.
It was a bluish ray.
My go, right. I will... Okay, question. If I'm already holding my sword, as we already said. Now, part of that is I can't... I have... Which one is it? Finesse and versatility. I have one of them. I don't have finesse. So I can't hold 2 different weapons and fight. But can I, for instance, hold the sword and use the hand axe?
I've got 2 weapon fire.
That's what I was just
Everyone
like. You
has-
haven't got 2 weapon fighting, so no.
Have I not?
I think everyone can.
When the hell did that go?
I think it needs to be a light or finesse weapon.
Oh no, sorry.
Finesse?
Yeah, no, sorry. You've got bonus actions in combat, 2 weapon fighting. So your sword can be a one-handed weapon, and the hand axe itself is, I believe, a light
No.
and finesse weapon. No, it's a light weapon.
But if I lose the finesse weapon property on it being now awakened, what does that mean? I thought that meant I couldn't do 2 weapon fighting. But what I'm trying to do is obviously use the hand axe only for a minute.
Isn't finesse and it's versatile that makes it one-handed or two-handed, isn't it?
No, I think versatile allows you to use dex as your as opposed to strength.
Let's just have a look.
It sounds cool what you're about to do, Dargon, so just do it.
Yeah, it's just no. It's just I don't want to break the rules if I can't do it. You know, we've assumed so far I can't do 2-weapon fighting because of something if I'm holding Timaeus Wrath. But if I want to only use the hand axe,
weapons to do 2-weapon fighting, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's do a rule check because I don't want to get it wrong and don't want to get shouted at by people. Okay, 2-weapon fighting.
I can never remember on the PHP where that is.
I know, it's really annoying.
It's like a little box somewhere.
When you take the attack action and attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon that you're holding in the other hand. So it needs to have the light property, and if it's got the thrown property, you can throw the weapon instead of making a melee weapon attack with it. There we go. There you go.
Okay, so that, by the sounds of it, means that if I use the hand axe first, I would not be able to use Timaeus Wrath second, because it is not not a light weapon like that. But were it to be, you know, nearby for me to pick up again, I would be able to use that for a second time. The hand axe, I mean.
Although you'd be able to use Timaeus Wrath with your second action, with your second attack.
Yeah.
I think. Because 2-weapon fighting is you do 2 attacks on one action.
So actually, yes.
One attack, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2 melee attacks in one attack. But yes,
Yeah.
if you wanted to one-handed the sword,
Yeah.
throw the hand axe and then go at the sword, absolutely.
Okay. Amazing. Great. Sorry about that, guys. That was just very complicated. So, I would like to run 30 feet. So I will.
You're just going to run.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to start. I'm going to do nothing else. That was it. I'm good.
Not even towards the beholder. I'm just running back.
I'm just running back. I just want to clear up some
turning,
rules.
he's going to run,
Yeah,
he's going to fall
I'm
down the
all
hole.
good.
That'll be the end of Dargon.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The cone is still pointing at Bothrid. The eye, sorry.
The cone is still pointing at Bothrid. Yep, the
Right.
eye. So I will turn that token as it turns.
Okay.
30. And then first attack will be throwing my hand axe towards the beholder.
Go for it.
4. Come on.
This is a kamikaze mission, this.
19 to hit.
Just hits.
Oh.
There's this. You sort of run up, and as you run up, you take out the hand axe and just slow motion. It doesn't look like it's going to hit, and then just bites into the side of the beholder, and you can see it sort of shift slightly.
Okay, 8 points of slashing damage, presumably, from one of these things.
6 points of slashing.
Yeah. That was 5, 10, 15. Yeah, so that was fine. That was within its normal range. And then I will use my bonus action to Misty Step next to it.
Uh-oh.
And as I arrive out of the mist, I'm holding Timaeus Wrath with 2 hands. Or can it only be 1 hand?
It can only be 1 hand.
That's fine. 1 hand.
Can only be one.
It can only be 1. I will
say for the sake of this, because if you think about 6 seconds, you've literally gone blinked, stab.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So that is... Oh, shite. That's a miss at 15.
15 does miss, indeed, as you go, and you sort of step out the mist even, and go to swipe, and the eye stalk that you're about to hit just...
That is all of my shit. I'm good.
Okay. And we're going to have another legendary action.
That's 3. That's 3. God, that's too many. That's 3 too many.
I was about to say, because there's 3 of us. He gets a turn and 1 on every one of our turns as well.
Yeah.
The eye stalk that you just missed. In fact, no, let's do this the right way. So, Ander, one of the eye stalks is actually just going to bend around Dargon and look towards you as this sort of...
That's horrible.
I am going to say neon blue I'm just making this shit up as I go along, by the way. Neon blue ray flies out and sort of goes to strike towards you. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, come on.
I'm all right.
Come on.
That was very lucky on the rolls there. You got the right ray and the right person.
22.
22. As this ray just beams out towards you, you just matrix it, like full on. As it just sort of skitters over the top of you. Yeah, that could have been fun if it had hit you. And we are back round to the top with Bothrid, who currently can't do a lot.
Yeah, he's asleep.
Bothrid is gonna do fuck all because he's asleep.
Yeah, we used to deal with that.
Okay, so then the beholder is... Yeah, it's not happy that Dargon's just turned towards it, so it is going to spin around to you, which means both you and Kirik, I believe.
Yep.
Yes, just you and Kirik are now caught in the anti-magic cone. So sunlight itself,
Yep.
it's going to be suppressed. Now, do eye rays count as ranged attacks? No, they don't. So,
Bollocks.
you are caught in the anti-magic field. We're going to go 1. I'm making note of this, otherwise I'll forget.
I didn't quite use my movement to my advantage there. I should have used less movement so that I could get round him later.
Here's an interesting question. Can we be affected by the rays if we're inside the anti-magic field? Okay.
So
That's
does that mean
cool.
Boffin wouldn't actually be asleep because he was looking at it?
That's a very
That's
good
also true.
point. Thank you very much.
That's also true.
So we will say Bothrid is awake. I'm going to carry on
He's
as
asleep
normal.
again.
Yeah.
He's asleep. Okay.
So he wakes up. Yeah, that was my bad. Totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. When I stop
You're
rolling,
welcome,
there we
Bothrid.
go. 1.
That's the most I'll contribute to this fight, I think.
So
Hey,
one
you
of the
rolled a
ice
natural 20
stalks does
Well, sure.
turn towards Dargon, but does nothing because of the cone. The second one is going to turn towards you, Ander, and I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Lucky point.
Yeah.
As a yellow beam of energy just towards you.
Well, that's
So
new.
that's 2.
Yeah, I really
I've
should have
got
looked
one
up the
left.
different colours of the beams, but I'm just making it up as I
You're
go
not gonna
along.
believe it. Oh, natural 20.
You rolled a natural 20 again. I tell you what, it's a good thing you had fucking advantage on that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Two of them.
Good thing so. As this yellowish ray strikes into you, you can feel sort of your limbs lock up for a minute, and then you just break whatever it is.
That's bad.
That would have been
And
bad.
then poor old Bothrid is going to have to make a dexterity saving throw. And absolutely fucking smashes it with a 19.
Go on, Boffin.
As that black ray again just towards him. And he just sort of ducks out the way as this black ray careens over the top of his head. That will be the beholder's go. Kirik. Your magic items are
Okay.
correctly useless.
Okay. I'm going to move 30 feet diagonally Here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Does my fist start glowing again?
Now, does it kill the spell or does it just suppress it? It's a concentration spell, isn't it?
It is a concentration spell.
That's a good question, though.
Please hold caller.
And
Beholders are awesome, but also very, very difficult to get right.
They are
Also,
a pain in the
if
backside.
It's so
If
much
it's
fun.
suppressed and/or got rid of your magic, would that potentially break your concentration, or because you knew it was coming?
It's not the
Potentially.
only thing that can break concentration is damage. Or going unconscious or those sorts of things.
If it functions like an anti-magic field spell, it does say, while the effect is suppressed, it doesn't function, but the time it's spent suppressed counts against the duration. But it also says that it just says suppressed specifically.
You're back in business then.
Yeah, any active spell or other magical effect on a creature or an object in the sphere, because anti-magic fields a sphere, is suppressed while the creature or object is in it. So it's up to you.
I'm gonna say concentration is not affected. It's just literally
Cool.
the duration of the spell which has started to be burned down.
Yep.
As if it was still going. But you have not lost concentration on that spell, so the minute you step out, it's literally just like your arm begins to glow once more.
Oh, awesome. In that case, I'm going to use an action to shoot the beam again. I need the beholder to make a Constitution saving throw. Yeah.
$16.
Fails. 8, 9, 15. 15, 22, 26. 30 points of radiant damage, and it's blinded.
Okay, we're going to say with this, the central eye closes and the anti-magic field is gone.
Legend.
A lot of the skin, this strange pinkish purplish skin on the beholder is just sort of charred away, and you can see the seeping wounds now as this sunlight literally burns over the top of it. It is now considered bloodied, and
You've been doing some serious damage,
another three eye rays are also going to be defunct. So we're going to go.
We've done pretty well here.
You guys have smashed it.
Just jinxed it. Just jinxed it.
I clipped it with a hand axe. It's literally all I've done.
Okay, cool. So there is no anti-magic field currently.
Nice. And as a bonus action, I'm going to. Both of you took a big hit.
Fine. Oh, I need to put mine up.
Just pulled out, apparently.
And it's not. Yeah. I will then look at Ander. And yeah, fuck it. I will.
It's probably not the thing you want to say to Ander, really.
I will kind of point. I'll kind of point my hand that has the glow, and there's going to be a thinner ray that's going to shoot towards towards Ander. As I say, what do I say? Keep on fighting. I'll cast Healing Word on him at 5th level. Why not?
I'll take it.
That's 5d4. 5, 6, 8. 8, 9, 10, 15 points. Oof, that was really bad.
I'll take it.
15 points. I'll
66.
see. Yeah, there you
I'll be
go.
happy with that.
That's my movement, my action, and my bonus action. So that's me done.
Excellent. Legendary action.
Yep.
Okay. Dargon,
No.
Me.
make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh.
Oh, not again.
If you were close enough, I could give you haste.
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
We are very lucky. So far.
Very lucky. As you just... This eye stalk just literally whips round and looks down at you. And literally before you could see this bright green glow begin to form, you dart out of the way just slightly as this just ray burns down. Yeah, that could have been a bad one.
Oh no, not taking anything. Nice. Oh yeah, Dex.
Not taking anything. So I'm just making note on some colours before I forget. As it is then, Anders go.
I will. I want to use steady aim again just to see if I can get another 20. Why not?
Okay.
Come on, steady aim, give me advantage with that. Oh, I'm glad I did. 21 to hit. So I got a 1 first time round.
Yeah, that'll hit.
With max 15 piercing damage.
Nice.
With
Piercing damage.
I got max on that, that was good. Oh, bet you on that. 14 sneak attack damage, and here comes the D4, which makes all the difference. 3.
32 points of damage.
I was going to say, as this arrow flies again and just catches at sort of the base of one of the eye stalks, as the beholder sort of floats around here, it is not looking good. There's blood, this sort of pinkish, purplish blood just sort of dripping out. That central eye still closed, as that is blinded.
And that's me.
Okay, that's you. Another legendary action coming up. What was that?
Here we go.
As long as it's not regain all my hit points.
Okay.
Oh yeah, what are you back to now?
I'm on 66 now. Feeling funky fresh.
Nice.
What spell did I say that
Dargon, I
was?
need you to make me a wisdom saving throw,
Fifth
please.
level was your cure wounds or healing word or whatever it was. And apologies, Matt. What was I doing?
Wisdom saving throw, please, sir.
Oh, fucking magic.
Still
7.
going down.
Oh, there we go.
This light blue ray just into you. You fall unconscious as you instantly fall asleep.
Light blue shit.
Automatically, or is it not like a canal? Not like
You
on my
fall
hit.
asleep and remain unconscious for 1 minute.
Fuck me, I thought that was on my hit points, but fucking hell, I'm out.
Okay, and it would be Dargon's go, but you can do bugger all as you're sleeping. So then the beholder is going to take its third legendary action after your go. And Kirik, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
That's a 12.
What?
This purple ray just blasts
Oh,
into
shit.
you. You are now charmed
Yeah.
by the beholder for an hour.
An hour?
GG, guys.
Panda, all yours.
And
Okay, yeah.
that will
Guess
be
I get
its
to-
legendary action.
guess I get
We
to
then
kill
go
the
around
party
to
then.
Bothrid. Bothrid is going to rage.
Good.
Not a happy bunny. And then he is going to, not on that map, step up 5, 10 to there. And it is gonna, yeah, double-bladed quarterstaff reckless, I should have said. Not that it would have mattered, so we'll just double check. So yeah, that is definitely going to hit. First strike's going to be a 6. Going to go for the second. That's also going to hit, so that will then be an additional... Why am I clicking that? What a dickhead.
I was going to say, you're clicking the javelin.
I don't know, I just totally misclicked there, so we're going to start that all again. We're going to just... First roll coming in. Right, that hits. 10 points of damage with the first one. Okay, second one hits as well. For an additional 10 points of damage, it's going to take 20 points of damage as Bothrid just... in fact, that's going to be 24 points of damage with Rage. Slashing damage against the Beholder as he just strikes twice into the Beholder, and the Beholder is not happy. Very, very wounded at this point. That is Bothrid's go. The Beholder then... Let's have a look. Where's my pen gone? So we're going to get that one. Can't do that one. And that one. And that one. Too many dice to roll.
That's never good.
Okay, so Ander. Make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
I'll use my last lucky point. Last one of the day. First one was a 7. I'm glad I rolled a lucky point. It doesn't matter, the second one was a 1. So, 7 is my best bet.
You are now
See you later,
frightened
guys.
of the Beholder for 1 minute as this white ray just beams into you.
I wasn't planning on getting closer anyway.
Disadvantage on attacks, though.
That one doesn't do that. And
No, if I use
then
steady aim and nullify it.
Bothrid needs to make a dexterity saving throw, which I just need to check on rage. No, it's strength checks and saving throws, not dex. So, dex saving throw. However, he does get advantage on those while not deafened or incapacitated because he can see. So I need to roll that again. Doesn't matter, still fails.
No.
With an 8, Bothrid is then going to take 64 points of necrotic damage as this black ray just beams down into him.
That's exactly half of his.
Is that reduced or no? Oh, it's necrotic, isn't it? Oh, Jesus.
Well, let's just double check that rage because he does have that.
Unless he's totem, unless he's part of the totem, I don't think so.
His totem spirit is a bear. While raging, you have resistance to all damage except psychic damage.
Oh, damn. There you go.
Yes!
Oh.
32 points of damage. Necrotic damage.
Bothrid for the win.
Whereas Bothrid's character sheet So it's almost like as the beam hits, you can see the form of a bear form around Bothrid spiritually. And Bothrid is down to 96 hit points. That is the beholder's go. Kirik, now charmed by this beholder, what are you going to do? Consider it friendly.
Kiss it on the mouth.
I consider it friendly.
Well, you're charmed by it.
Very strange that
You can't attack the charmer or target it with a harmful ability or magical magical effect.
If you fucking heal it, I'm going to kill you.
You have advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature.
Seeing that the beholder is actually struggling at the moment, I am going to move towards it. I will take out my Staff of Healing, and I'm going to cast a...
Dave, why'd you say that for?
I'd already thought
Kirik
about
would
that.
have done.
Yeah. I'm going to, through it, cast a 4th level Cure Wounds.
Oh my god, I'm going to have to kill Kirik.
Wow, that didn't take long.
It's 11, 15, 19, 24 points of healing to the beholder.
You just healed it 3 times as much as I've given it damage, right? Just gonna point that out.
Yeah. As a bonus action, I technically cast a spell through it, so I can't really do much else. So yeah, that will be my turn.
Okay. Legendary action.
Oh, I'm not feeling good about it.
Dargon. This could be interesting.
Automatically fail most checks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Constitution saving throw, please, which you will automatically fail, I believe.
I have no idea. I'm trying to find the sleep thing on here and it doesn't tell me. So I'm guessing it's unconscious.
You'll be unconscious, yeah. Or incapacitated, one of the two.
No, I'll automatically fail strength and dexterity ones.
Dex throws.
But not constitution.
You're just that jacked.
Yeah, Constitution saving throw then, please, sir.
Alright. Come on. 18.
You probably kind of wanted that to hit you, to be honest. However, you save. So the ray hits you. However, this is the one. Yes, this is the one that you'll take half as much damage. So this greenish beam of energy just, as the eye stalk just snaps around, looks for the closest thing to shoot at, shoots at you. You are going to take 25 points of necrotic damage, and you are instantly awake.
Cool. That's already hard.
That's halved.
Yeah, cool.
That's already halved. Yeah, I've halved that for you.
Nice.
And Anderidin, now your go.
That's right, guys. I'm finally under 100.
Snaps awake.
My shoulder.
Guys, I can't go on. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, absolutely. Do I get to make a save? Sorry, do I get to make a save for the charm or no? Cool. You guys are lucky.
Nope.
I don't have life
You are
transference.
charmed by the beholder for 1 hour or until the beholder harms the creature.
Cool.
So, Ander, over to you, sir.
Right.
You are frightened of it, remember?
I'm not too far away to do that. I was gonna use suggestion and just tell him to punch Kirik with its eye, but I'm too far away for suggestion.
He's fucking brilliant. Oh, I wish that would happen.
I know.
Hi, Bob.
It would have made the wisdom save anyway, though. That's not messed about. Right.
Can't move closer to the creature, unfortunately, either.
So I might as well use steady aim, so I can't fucking move. And I will hit you with the bow and
This is
arrow.
just going to be a
Is
flat
its eye
roll,
open again
remember.
now?
Yes.
I'm aiming for the
Fucking
eye
healed
again,
it.
as it's now open. So
The eye will now be open.
26 to hit.
Was that a straight roll? Holy shit, it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
12 points of piercing damage.
12 points of
With-
piercing damage.
Oh, that's a shit sneak attack. 10 sneak attack.
Now, you wouldn't
22.
get sneak attack on that. Because technically
Right.
you don't have advantage on the roll. Even though you use
But it's
steady
next
aim,
to
because you're
Buffett.
frightened of it, you get disadvantage. Oh, yeah, no,
It's next
fuck
to
it,
Buffett.
ignore me. Sneak attack. Yep.
And then the all
10 points
important
of sneak.
D4. Add a 1 onto that. 23 points of damage.
There we go. Took the healing
I'm
back
going to
off.
take that fucking bow off you if you keep knocking that D4. Good stuff. So the arrow, even though you're sort of aiming at it and your hands are shaking like a shitting dog, just somehow the arrow just strikes into the beholder and does the necessary damage. Anything else on your turn? I think that's it, isn't it?
I can't do it else. So gives me bonus action already.
Legendary action.
What do you fucking do?
Okay. Doggone.
Goodbye.
Please leave the big brother house.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
A platform
Make me a
just opens
strength
underneath
saving
Dargon.
throw.
Strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw.
Wow, that was an appalling saving throw. God, that's shite. 15.
Oh.
Okay.
Roll a 6.
You get moved.
Jesus.
In
Right.
fact,
Get moved.
you are going to get moved.
It's my best saving throw, and I fucking roll low. That's terrible.
15, 20, 25, 30. As this golden ray just beams into it, lifts you up, and pushes you across. You are now restrained.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake.
Should we just go through the whole condition list while we're in?
This is why beholders are such a shit.
Yeah. Tutorial on what all the conditions are.
And Dargon, it is now your go.
Restrained.
You are restrained, however. Yes. By this golden ray.
As I can feel myself restrained, I will... I will fire a second level guiding bolt at it.
Disadvantage, I think.
It will be.
You what?
Disadvantage on restraint, I think.
Attack rolls.
It's a 17
I'm
anyway,
on-
so it misses, so...
I'm on the side of the beholder, guys.
17 does miss.
Yeah, missed.
I'm rooting for the beholder here.
As you just sort of, with this golden ray around you, try and lift your hand up enough to sort of just tweak out a guiding bolt, and it just scatters against the ceiling, sort of ricochets down and misses totally. Legend. Anything else on your turn? Sorry. Bonus actions.
Bonus action. Yeah, bear with. Let's just have a quick look.
Where bear? Where bear? Where bear?
Yeah. Fuck it. I'll shout out to Bothrid. Fucking stab it in the eye and kill this fucking thing. And I will give him temporary HP of using my superiority maneuver. 5 points of temporary HP.
5 points temporary HP, thank you very much. That's added on. However, as that happens, one of the eye stalks just snaps around towards Bothrid. This bright green, not neon, this bright green ray is going to shoot out towards Bothrid. He needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, he'll be fine.
Yes, is fine. Is going to take half damage. And half of that as well. Because he's raging. So that would have been 40. So he's going to take 10 points of necrotic damage. So it's a good thing you added on those temporary hit points because he took 5 points of damage.
Hey.
Now down to 91. And cool. It is then Bothrid's go. Fucking reckless attack, raging. Yeah, it's gonna hit anyway. Okay, let's do the second.
Can you use an action to get out of restrained?
I think it depends on... No. So if it's a grapple, yes. Restrained is a different thing. So both of those hits. It's 19 points of damage. Bothrid is then going to... He's going to use his bonus action to wild shape again, and is going to become a cave bear.
What the hell is
As he
that?
just grows into a large beast.
Why, he's a bear in a cave.
Pretty much. So that's Bothrid's go. The beholder then. Here we go. What is that? That is a... Okay, let's mark this down. Okay. Against...
Oh, I've got an idea.
Stop rolling the same fucking number. There we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Doggone, make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
17.
Okay, as this white beam streaks towards you, you can feel your body sort of almost lock up in fear. However, you are fine.
Thank God for that. Rolling high on my wisdom and low on my strength at the moment.
Bothrid then needs to make a Constitution saving throw, which will be in bear form. (17), very lucky. As this yellowish beam just streaks out towards him. He would have been paralysed, but is not. And then finally, Ander, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
14.
evasion?
Oh, I'm going to shout it in a minute.
You're gonna need it, I think.
Probably gonna need it as this bright green ray just towards you. 52 points of necrotic damage.
Jesus Christ!
Evasion! To half it, so it's
26 points of necrotic damage then, sir.
I'm 40. I'm okay.
40 or 30?
Kirik.
40.
This is a problem. So I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 here.
Yep.
Yeah. And Dagon, as you are restrained, you just see Kirik right in front of you, just lifts his arm. I'm going to shoot a sunbeam that should catch both Dagon and Bothrid. As my action, I need both of them need to make Constitution saving throws.
Okay. Bothrid got a natural 20.
Saves.
25.
Both of you save, but you're still going to take half damage. But you're not blinded,
Take half.
so there's that.
Yeah.
10, 11.
I'm just blinded and restrained.
Yeah, 11. Oh, that's a good roll. 15, 22, 30 points of radiant reduced to 15.
I'm resistant to
produced-
radiant.
So,
Piss.
and Bothrid's resistant to everything, so
Yeah.
that is going to be 8 points of damage.
Yeah, boy.
As this just sunbeams worth of energy shoots out.
I will use my last 5th level spell slot to cast Healing Word on the Beholder.
Fuck's sake.
Charmed, guys. That's what happens. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. So 13 points of health for the Beholder.
Oh. Did that the wrong way. There we go. Okay, as the wounds close up and the Beholder, looking like it was on its last legs, sort of hovers and rights itself slightly. Legendary action time. It's going to be one of them. And that is going to be against Bothrid as well. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a dexterity saving throw for Bothrid's. That is a 5. So Bothrid is as this. Which one did I just do? 4. As this neon blue ray just out towards Bothrid. Bothrid is slowed.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh, man.
3 attacks just got dropped to 1.
No
Jesus.
bonus action. Thank God he was already raging.
Yep. Oof, that's really bad.
There we go. Ander.
I'm really torn about what to do because all of my good stuff is a wisdom save, and I know who's going to fucking make that. But I will attempt to cast. Well, I will actually 10 feet, and I will attempt to cast Suggestion on Kirik. Wisdom 15.
Okay.
Are you still frightened by...
Oh, I can't move closer. Never mind. Scrap that. Thanks, Dave.
Alright.
Stitch me right up.
Yeah.
There's my rules lawyer for you. Thank you.
You're not the one who's charmed, remember? Okay. All right then. It's got a bigger range on it. I'll cast Slow on Kirik. Fuck him.
Okay.
Wisdom 15 still.
12.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
I'm rolling really badly today. Really badly.
Your speed is halved, -2 to AC and to dexterity saving throws. You can't use reactions. You can either use an action or a bonus action, not both. It can't make more than one melee or ranged attack. If a creature attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action, roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until your next turn.
Cool.
And that's it then. Oh, and as a
So that's Anders' go.
That's pretty
bonus
clutch.
action, I will give Bardic Inspiration to Dargon, so he's got a D8. So I'll whistle a bird song throughout the cave, and Dargon's got a D8 for the next 10 minutes, if he wants it.
Cool. I'll remind myself of that one.
Okay. Bothrid again.
Unlucky. He's slow as well.
Constitution saving throw. Yeah,
my suggestion
that
would have been
affects his
good.
Constitution.
I never get to use it.
Snap out of it.
Oh, it's going to
Natural
be
20.
scary.
Well, Bothriel on
No,
the saves.
20. So Bothrid would have fallen paralysed there as this yellow beam just, but you could see the cave bear form of Bothrid just holds it off. Okay. Sorry, I have just missed. And roll me a wisdom saving throw again. Sorry, please.
Oh. While I do that, my suggestion was going to be for Kirik to go find Feltag. That was going to be my suggestion.
Paper the mound banks.
It's been gone for ages. 10.
That's an amazing suggestion.
That's fine. You are still frightened.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It works.
Dargon.
I will blink the sunlight out of my eyes. Fucking hell, Kirik, you twat! And I will grab him by the collar and just go snap out of it as I cast Greater Restoration using the sword. And I will get
There
rid
we
of
go.
fucking Charmed.
You don't need your glasses anymore, you've had laser eye surgery.
Nice.
So, I'm still restrained.
You
Kirik
are
is
still
hopefully
restrained.
shaking himself out.
You've just uncharmed him and now he can't do fuck all, so cast slow on him.
Yeah, you did, but I didn't say that I was going to do it, did I? So I was just silently going, fucking hell, you've just slowed the bastard down.
This is going terribly.
It is, it's wonderful.
This is perfect.
This is a comedy of errors. It's brilliant. So, we said before, I can't get out of restraint at the moment. That's something that's...
No, you must. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of your next turn. So this will be your
Okay,
first
so at the end
turn
of this.
since you've been
Okay.
restrained.
I don't recall saying that I got my blink hand axe back, so I'm guessing I don't, and
No.
therefore I have my other hand axe, the one and only shitty normal one. So I will grab that and I will turn back round and with a action surge will lob it at the beholder. Because I used an action
Nicely
to
done.
do
Roll to hit,
Great
please.
Restoration.
Yep.
So, come on. We use my inspiration. Oh no! 18 to hit.
Does not
that
hit.
disadvantage
No,
as well?
sorry, meets the armor class.
Oh!
The magic number is it just think.
Right, what? So one of them.
What were you going to say there, Danny? Sorry.
I just realised I could pick up to 6 creatures with slow. I could have picked the beholder as well. It was just in range, but it's too late.
7 points
Or
of
read
slashing
spells,
damage.
people. 7 points of slashing damage as this second hand axe is now blossoms into the creature.
Is it... fucking hell, have I got anything else I can throw?
Bearing in mind you've done...
So this is in my action... Yeah, this is my action surge.
Yeah, so bearing in mind your action surge is only another action, which has been to throw the hand axe. You've taken the attack action in that action.
Yeah, 2 attacks per action.
Well, yeah, okay. But you can't use another bonus action to pull something out, can you?
Yeah, because it's still a bonus action. My action surge is my action surge is just a thing.
But it just gives
Yeah,
you
no,
actions,
right.
not
So your
bonuses.
action surge doesn't give you a whole other turn; it only gives you another action.
I haven't
Which
used
you
my
then
bonus
take.
action, have I?
Did you not
got
use that
the
to pull
axe
out
to
your
throw it.
second hand axe?
Yeah, if it takes that.
Well, it would have done.
I thought it was a free action to take a thing out. I'm not swapping it.
It depends if you've got an empty hand or not. Which I
Yeah.
suppose if you did, yeah, okay, I'll allow it.
Anyway, I don't think I have
got a
anything else that
bonus
I can
action.
throw. I could throw Timiel's Wrath or the Greatsword. I don't know, but I haven't got anything else. So I mean,
For a great sword.
You've also got a fucking great axe in there, so yeah.
That's what I mean. I just throw that.
I
if
don't
want.
recommend that.
20% chance I'll hit Bothrid.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Okay, so that is your
Unfortunately, no. I don't have anything else that I can lob at him. So yeah.
go. Okay, legendary action.
Guys, I've done 15 points to him. So
Sorry, mate. I keep rolling 4s on this D4. Dargon.
Nice.
Constitution saving throw, please.
Come on.
You're good at those. You're good at those.
Yeah. That's 22.
You are going to take 18 points of necrotic damage as this green ray just beams into you. That is already halved, I should say.
That's fine. I did that.
Bothrid's go. Well, it's going to be... Well, it's going to be reckless. As he's slowed, and you can see the cave bear sort of rear up to make...
Is
explore
reckless a
attack,
bonus
I believe
action?
it is. No,
It's just a thing.
you just declare it. It just gives you advantage. It's just a barbarian thing. Now, I need to read that. Can either take an action or a bonus action, so it still gets 2 attacks.
No,
Ooh,
keep reading.
No, with slow, you can only take 1 attack or 1 bonus action, and that's it.
However,
So,
I know
bearing
some-
in mind this is not the same effect. The targeted
okay.
creature
True.
must succeed on a DC dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the target speed is halved for 1 minute. In addition, the creature can't take reactions, and it can take either an action or a bonus action on its turn, not both. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of either of its turns, ending the effect of on itself on a success.
There you go.
So it still gets its 2 attacks.
Yep.
So, reckless.
Oh, because mine says it can't take more than 1 melee or ranged attack
Yeah,
during
That's
its turn.
because
so
yours
that's
is
it.
the slow spell. This is just a
Yeah.
magical effect. Similar to...
that's not
I
because
think both of those miss.
that's not because
That's
I
17 to hit.
hit him that he has to make a concentration check on the slow on Bothrid. That's just there for a minute. Yeah.
So the second one just hits with an 18. So that is going to be... Oh shit me, I need D6s. I'm not had them out all night.
Ones.
Yeah. 2 ones, so that is going to be 7 points of slashing damage. However, as Bothrid just slashes across, there is this sort of 2 huge great claw rents across the beholder. It does not look good. It is the beholder's go.
Shit.
The beholder's no longer blinded, is it? I'm an idiot.
No.
Beholder's going to turn. No, not go inside. It's going to turn. Face that way. As its central eye opens.
Means I'm no longer slowed.
Whee!
Indeed. But it does mean that...
That was a waste of time.
So it does
That
mean
also
that
means I'm not
Dargon-
restrained.
Does that mean he's also not charmed?
It does indeed. So you're no longer restrained, but all of the magical effects are gone from you. Bothrid's wild shape.
Good, I've nearly thrown
gone.
everything anyway.
So Bothrid's down to the... and Ander, because literally all four of you are now caught in this anti-magic field as the cone just spreads out from the lot of you.
Plan that.
It cannot do anything else because of all its eye rays would target you, and that would have to go through the cone of anti-magic field. So instead, it is going to bite Bothrid.
It has a
Or
bite.
attempt to. And yeah, that's going to miss. With a 13. It literally just sort of bites in and catches on Bothrid's sort of hide, sort of leather armour. That's going to be its go. Kirik,
Seeing as I'm no longer slowed, 5, 10,
you're no longer slowed.
15, 20, 25. Can I get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25?
Yes,
Put me out of my... Would that put me out of the
that is
cone?
out of the anti-magic cone.
Very well. In that case, I will use my action to just create a beam of light towards the beholder with some beam that I'm still concentrating on. And I'm not casting a spell, so I'm not technically under the influence of the slow thing. Constitution saving throw, please.
But you're charmed again.
I'm not charmed by it.
the
Dargon
charm was
used
already
greater
knocked
restoration.
Oh yes, sorry.
Just to be a pain in the what's it? What about if you were slowed immediately coming out of the cone?
That halves it for whatever you've
Yeah, I
got
don't know
left.
if it.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
if
sorry.
it put me there. Yeah.
No. Didn't you say that? Yeah, well, actually, you used all of your, not all your movement, because when you got out of the cone, you used it as in half.
Yeah, I
didn't you?
basically would get to the point where, like, I exit. My idea is, like, he exits the cone and he's already used all his movement because of slow, so then he just shoots the ray.
Yeah, of course.
That was my thinking. I'll use my only action to use the sunbeam.
That is an 18.
That saves. Still half damage, though. 14. Ooh, that's mean. 21, 29, 36 points of radiant damage.
Ooh.
Halved.
How would you like to destroy this beholder?
Yes.
So, as
Having been
Kira-
charmed by it,
Yeah, as Kira kind of shakes it off and realizes what has just happened, seeing Dargon like with scorch marks of his own spell, I just move out of the cone, and after I like get out of the cone, I just feel suddenly like the lethargic effect of slow, and I just kind of raise my arm towards the beholder, and as the like all the different eyes apart from the main one look over, the ray just shoots and then splits into 8, and it enters all of the eyes of the beholder and then just follows down the stalk until like it's just veins filled with radiant energy, and then the beholder just explodes from it in.
love it. So you just see this golden energy bleeding down through the eye stalks into the sort of core of the beholder, and this glow just builds and builds and builds until gore, guts, eye goo, everything just all over Bothrid, scatters everywhere. We
He always gets
are out
khaki with remnants of
of
creature
combat.
related.
He's always standing
Because
right next
he's
to him.
always stood literally fucking face first up to the one. Okay. We're out of
And I
combat.
will obviously drop.
As
drop
there's
slide
literally
now.
nothing of a beholder left. In fact, there's probably one eye stalk just stuck to the top of Bothrid's head, just sort of like flopping around.
That's horrible.
What the fuck was
Bothrid's
that
just gonna
fucking
sort of-
mutant little shitty thing of a cyclops was that?
I don't know. What I was. It was my friend for a bit. I think I was under some sort of effect by it.
Yeah, I
You
gathered
think?
that from the sun in my fucking face.
Yeah, you look a little bit tanned. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Perhaps a rest here, shall we?
Yeah. I think. I mean, I'm. All right. I'll dispel sunbeam because I think it won't last a minute anyway. Yeah. I'll dispel sunbeam.
The glow fades. How long does slow last?
I've dispelled it. It's concentration.
Okay, so slow is now gone. So Kirik is no longer. I will dispel sunbeam. Bothrid just turns and sits. I'm getting too old for this shit.
You've got red on you. Just a little.
And it'd actually be like a pinkish purple. Bothrid just sort of.
I was pretty useless then, guys.
I'll
I'll walk over to pick up all the shit that I just threw at it.
I was going to get some arrows back, but obviously they're all shot to bits now. He's exploded, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, no, you'd still got half of them back, regardless. Not all of them break.
Whee!
Just because it's exploded doesn't necessarily mean the arrows have exploded.
I'll
I'll take them.
Are we thinking of stopping here for a bit, or? I mean, I know I haven't.
First of all, are there any more of them around?
Yeah. Does anybody know anything about those? Do they hunt in packs? I don't know. What?
With my
what it is.
Arcana check, would I know that they are isolation?
Roll.
I don't know. I rolled a 16 Arcana.
Solitary.
16.
Oh no, I
in
rolled a
which
20.
case
I
you
rolled a
would
20
know.
Arcana. Sorry.
Yeah, so you would know
16
that they
Arcanas.
are pretty much loners. So they don't travel around in packs or those sorts of things. They tend to be isolationists, if you like.
Yeah, that's the word. No,
Right,
from what I know, they are quite solitary, and they just
Yeah, that's the word.
Stay
I was
on their
looking
own.
for. Solitary.
This
Yeah.
might be a bit of a left field thought, and I am weary from battles, so I might not be thinking straight. If this was a dwarven tunnel, mine, whatever, and then the beholder has seemed to have taken siege of it, if we take proof of the beholder's death and also the urn, that would garner us pretty good favour, right? So if Bothrid takes that little
we're-
eyeball stalk with him,
We're assuming that it's the same dwarves and they're not like, you know,
warring
not-
clans.
yeah. But I suppose regardless, if there is no one here, if there's no one else here, then yeah, they're either going to take over enemy territory or get their own territory back. It's not a bad shout.
I suppose we could always use the remains of the beholder as a proof of our capability, I suppose, or something of the like.
Yeah. Well, we've got to keep looking anyway, haven't we? Looking around here. See if there's a
True.
way through or way down or anything else like that. But please, guys, a little bit of a rest.
We can rest so I can
The
heal.
warlock needs a short rest.
Yeah, fucking does.
Yeah, we can rest.
Okay, so we're taking a short rest.
I would spend the short rest looking around because I don't need it, essentially. I'm not going to get anything from
So as you
rest.
look around this sort of cavern bit, there are no exits. They seem to have either caved in a while ago, and you can see that it looks like the Beholder was using its disintegration ray to just carve out paths and chambers, and in doing so has uncovered various items. The only other things... So there's two major points that you notice. Where the Beholder came from, there are 3 tattered books on the floor.
I'll grab those for sure.
Okay. 2 of which you cannot read, as they are written in Dwarvish. Dwarvish. And the third... Remind me of the languages you speak.
I speak Abyssal, Common, Orc, and Sylvan.
So the third you also can't read. It seems to have, rather than like a definitive language, it seems to be a number of runic type language, or runes just sort of scribbled into this book. From the pages that there are left, these books are not in good condition at all. They're not complete by any means.
I will keep the 3 of them, and I'll put them in my haversack.
Okay. And then as you go back towards the entrance of this particular cabin, the only other thing you notice as you go and explore and investigate that area where there was sort of this broken stone platform with the glow of red as the light shined across it, you realise that this looks like it may have once been either a casting circle or a permanent spell circle of sorts, or just a raised platform for casting spells. It is broken, it is shattered, it is far beyond usable.
Alright. And what's that on the other end of the...
That's what you already knew, was the broken stone table and the broken stone chair. Yeah. But from what else you can tell, it looks like the Beholder has just been disintegrating these halls, sort of expanding its influence. There was clearly nothing of note it wanted to keep in here, you knowing that Beholders do tend to keep sort of like petrified statues of things and those sorts of things.
Fascinating. Yeah, I'll go back to the group then, check how they're doing.
As they're all resting. Does Bothrid want
And
a
I'll
short
sneeze
rest?
in the meantime.
Yeah, Bothrid will take a short rest and use a couple of hit die.
I used all my hit die and I'm back up to
3.
full strength.
Nice.
I only get my bardic inspiration die back on a short rest though. But I didn't use too many spells right on
So
that.
I need 1, 2, 3 of them. Oh, that will spit around sometimes. That's going to be 19 on the dice for Bothrid. Heal, and then he gets...
So what we think?
12.
It looks like, from looking around, I would be taking notes of like the Beholder's behavior here. It looks like the Beholder was just setting up base and didn't really keep anything on him, with him. The only thing I found were these 3 books. 2 of them I can't read because I believe they're in Dwarvish. The other one seems to be runic in some nature.
Do I recognise the runes? Are you showing me this or just telling me about it?
Yeah. I would probably like show it to you carefully.
You don't understand any of the books, Ander.
Sounds about right.
So I say we go back, continue through the mountains.
So we leave the cave and try and go back over the top. Is that what we're saying?
I think so.
Yeah, I've not often been inside a mountain, usually on top. I prefer being out there on the mountain. If this is anything to go by.
You prefer it on top? Okay.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I'm more of a power bottom myself.
You're getting disadvantage on all rolls next week, Dargon, for that one.
Kirk's just looking confused at what they're talking about.
Okay, so you make the journey back and sort of step outside the cave, and you've probably been in this cavern for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours by the time you've traversed it all and investigated it all and traversed back. And it's probably sort of mid-afternoon at this point, given how far you travelled this morning. The sun is certainly on its descent down, and you sort of take a look outside. There is a fine layer of snow that seems to have rested now on top of the snow that was already there. You have the path back to then head down towards the mountain if you wanted to head back towards the goat path, or you can continue on ahead along this sort of what looks like it's been trumped out by the Cyclops, and even that has now started to be masked by the snow that now falls.
What do we think? Dagon?
I'm still happy up here. But
Anda?
It's not noticeably colder, is it? It's just a bit of snow.
It
I'm
is
all right.
noticeably colder, but you are all right for now.
I think I'm okay to press on. The way we're headed.
In that case, I will take 10 minutes. Just grabbing on my holy symbol, and I'll cast Water Walk on the 4 of us, so that we can trudge through the snow. Ritual cast as well, so it doesn't.
So as Kirik sort of spends those 10 minutes casting this spell, you'll notice that you seem to sort of gently rise up. When you now walk across the top of this snow layer, there's no footprints as such that go down. It's almost like it almost feels like you're walking on air slightly, and it takes a little bit to get used to, but after a while all is fine and you continue on your journey across the mountain range. And I think that is where we will leave it for tonight. So thank you all players, that was amazing. I had great fun during that. That was so much fun, more for what the players did than what I did. Beholders are a DM's pain in the arse, but so much fun at the same time. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I know there was a lot of chat going on there, so thank you all for interacting with us. Absolutely love you all being here. Please do not forget to follow along if you're not already following the Twitch channel. That will give you a chance to win the opportunity to create an NPC with me. And as I say, I may throw a t-shirt in. Apparently we've now committed to a cosplay thing whenever we hit 100 followers, so that's the second one that's going to happen. I'm sure we'll all enjoy that. But other than that, thank you very much for the tools we've used tonight. D&D Beyond goes without saying. We use that for pretty much everything. Rules checks, character sheet management, encounter management. It's just a fantastic tool. If you're not using it as a DM and a player, go use it. I can't sort of say that enough. Owlbear Rodeo continues to be an amazing tabletop tool, virtual tabletop. I'm loving it. It's just nice and simple, makes things really easy. Bringing in custom tokens. I even used some custom effect tokens there that were not seen but helped me to manage things like the anti-magic cone and those sorts of things. So please go check that out. Battle Bards, we heard some of the sound effects, you can hear the music right now. Tabletop audio as well. 5e magic shop for the magical auras and sort of inventory management for shops, those sorts of things. And yeah, all the other tools that we use that I'm no doubt forgetting after 3 and a bit hours of playing D&D. So all that is left for me to say is thank you very much. Go check out the podcast, check out YouTube, check us out on Wednesday night for Malt Magic and More, where we dissect this episode. But no, thank you all once again for joining us. We love you all. We will see you next week.